Americans another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines,
clock's run out. Time's up.
Wind is blowing cold and dark. On the road and no way out. Broken hearts, a smoking gun. On the run. On the run.
My name's Jimmy. It's Aftermath.fm, and the microcosm is on the air.
Perverted, I'm obsessed and deranged. I have existed for years, but very little has changed. I'm the tool of the government and industry too, for I am destined to rule and regulate you. I may be vile and pernicious, but you can't look away. I make you think I'm delicious with the stuff that I say. I'm the best you can get. Have you guessed me yet? I'm the slime oozing out from your TV set. You will obey me while I lead you and eat the garbage that I feed you until the day that we don't need you. Don't go for help, no one.
One of the great things about being a psycho is you can spot another psycho from a mile away. You know, that's really great thing. I can spot him, you know, it's in the eyes. Never look at the costume. Nice people look at the costume. They'll see somebody in like dad jeans, you know, pushing their kid on the swing, you know, the whole nerdy sweater. Hey, how you doing? You believe the summer's already over? I mean, this is crazy, right? Oh, this one here's got me running around, you know. She's running the house. People always like, oh my God, he's so nice. Such a great family man. And I'm just sitting thinking in my head like, dude, that guy is a fucking psycho. He's a psycho. Look at him. See that? That dude is barely hanging on. He's white.
Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent. Well, hey, it's good to see you. I want to say hello to all the Clyde Lewis listeners. Great bunch of people here on the website. It's packed in the chat room. Let's say what's up to everybody and welcome. And tonight's the night. We're gonna visit tonight's This Is Your Life, Epic Journeyman. It's not your life.
My life.
You're lucky. You're lucky. You're lucky it's not your life, son. But tonight it's going to be Cass Sunstein's life, isn't it? And he's an interesting character, isn't he?
He is, actually. He's a very interesting character. Yeah, well, a lot of people know him as a talking head back in the Obama administration. You know, he used to come on Fox, used to come on MSNBC, all those things. Whenever they throw somebody out there for some kind of legal opinion, they'd throw him out there. But when you learn more about him, he's something of a oxymoron, like a walking oxymoron. I don't mean that moron. I mean an oxymoron, like Jumbo Shrimp. Like he's a liberal conservative or a conservative liberal or whatever you want it to be. He's a man of contradictions, and we'll show that, actually. It's pretty interesting, actually. And he's a very talented and intelligent guy. But the more you learn about him, the more interesting it is. He's still a professor at Harvard now. He was at University of Chicago, or University of Illinois, I'm sorry, in Chicago, and for a long time, like almost 30 years, 27 years, I believe.
Yeah, I can't even stand the sound of his voice. Just the sight of him and the sound of his voice makes me want to reach through the screen and grab him by his chicken neck and choke him to death. My name's Jimmy.
It shocks me. Standing at the door that leads below. There's a light at the end of the hall. Can I reach it before I fall?
Danny D, are you there?
I might be.
Well,
Are you there, Jamie?
I might be. It might be nice to see you then too. All right.
A boy went back to Napoli because he missed the scenery, the native dancers, and the charming songs. But wait a minute, something's wrong. Hey, hey, now it's hey mambo, mambo Italiano, hey mambo, mambo Italiano, go go Joe. You mixed up Siciliano, you calabrese, do the mambo like crazy, and hey mambo, don't want a tarantella, hey mambo, no more a mozzarella, hey mambo Italiano, try an enchilada with a fish of bacalao.
Giuseppe Vaffangulo and Rockario, are you there?
I'm here.
Excelente. Well, hey, the gang's all here, and it's time to roast Cass Sunstein. Are you guys ready to roast Cass Sunstein? I hope so, because time is of the essence.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Already.
Excelente. Well, so just Giuseppe Vaffangulo, before we get into this here, you and I had talked earlier in the week, and we were talking a little bit about an article that was written in Omni Magazine back in 1989, and you put your skill on it, and I think you were able to actually dig that article up. And I didn't have a chance to talk to you right before the show, but I wanted to bring that article up before we get into This Is Your Life, Cass Sunstein, simply because it was written at a time when Oliver North was sitting up in Congress, and they were going over the Iran Contra hearings. And this was another period in American history where they were, trying to whip up the fear about this terrorism that may or may not exist, as a result of our meddling across the planet, Giuseppe. Were you able to dig that article up and have it available?
Well, I have an article addressing the article. I thought we were doing that next week, but I have pulled out the article I found where from a small mundane website called Tech Featured, and it's essentially Omni is now a defunct magazine, but it was a big deal, and especially in the late 70s and in the 80s, it had a lot of interesting articles, and the one that you're speaking about was called Near Future Potential for Mass Terrorism on U.S. Soil, and it was written by none other than choir boy G. Gordon Liddy.
That's right. Well, and basically I wanted to bring it up now because we are going to talk about it next week, but I wanted to bring it up a little bit now. Simply because it was a plan that was written out by G. Gordon Liddy with a small team of terrorists could shut down most commercial activity in the United States, and it's super interesting. And we're going to do a tabletop exercise on the features of that article because we have experts to really address a lot of the things that go on. Is there some points there on the article that you have explaining the article that you might be able to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's just go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Sorry. No, I'm saying go ahead. Maybe you can just expand a little bit on the article, just to get into it a little bit, just to let people know, because we're going to be getting into it next Thursday night. Ladies and gentlemen, tabletop exercise. We're going to go live with experts on these problems right here on the show. So you want to get into just a little bit of that before we get into This Is Your Life, Cass Sunstein?
Absolutely.
Right on.
The key to Liddy's article is he identified 5 easily achievable strategies in 1989 and just about the same in 2021 to really just cripple the soft and vulnerable United States. The first is you ground all air traffic travel, and so that's clearly what happened on 9/11. And it's funny, he wrote this article 12 hours before, and then he said all you have to do is take out a couple of bridges, key north-south traffic points, railroad traffic points, and one is blow up the rail bridges between Washington D.C. and Virginia and the rail complex at Cincinnati, and that will choke the entire country. And then he said that you could set off a communist African terrorist force in Louisiana, and that would draw so much traffic and military law enforcement that would leave other areas vulnerable. And he was then you'd start doing a bunch of terrorists outfitted with appropriate clothing, alias documentations, pocket money, could infiltrate all types of our porous borders. So, I mean, a lot of it's happening as we speak. And his idea was the people expecting their government to do something about it, to fix the problem and punish those responsible. Not going to happen. It's up to the people to do it, not the government. So maybe that'll happen someday.
It's not going to happen. But, the thing is that what I was doing for a business before I got, sick, I was putting systems in. And, of course, part of what's going on in the country, I see that there was some serious issues that I could help solve with some technology that I was utilizing at the time, which was it was basically a fiber optic ring that you can either bury in the ground, put on a fence, or put on the top of a wall. And if that ring is disturbed, it sends back a signal to say exactly where that ring was disturbed, what the GPS location is. In other words, somebody jumped the fence, this type of thing. So, but in order to do that, I had to go and I had to get certified. So I went through some FEMA courses and I took some, I'm a certified emergency management person registered with FEMA because of the business that I was in. So I have a couple certificates from FEMA as far as managing issues, as telecommunications go out, this type of thing. But anyways, the point is that nobody was interested in this technology that was available back then to protect any of this infrastructure, these major electrical facility, Epic Journeyman. So they weren't interested in putting any alarming around these major points that if you literally a circuit board went out in San Diego and knocked out half of California, and they tried to blame it on the tech. But if a circuit board can knock out half of California, Epic Journeyman, why wouldn't they want to protect the perimeter of this unless there's really no actual threat? And that was really the determination that I came to at that point, was that there must be no threat. Otherwise, why wouldn't you want to install this type of stuff around these facilities? But go ahead, Epic Journeyman.
It's really interesting about that. Okay, so when I worked at General Atomics, we know that I've mentioned that many times. We had the entire grid basically came through one of our facilities. It came from the 12 kVA to our main transformer to do this complex builds we had, and there was a Costco nearby and all that stuff. So we had this thing. It's called a phase monitor, right? It's a little module that monitors if things go out of phase, it trips the main breaker, right? And that happened to us and closed down the entire facility, of course, right? But on a bigger scale, that is exactly that same module. I mean, the exact same brand and everything. It's this little tiny 6-inch wide by maybe it's 8 inches at the most by 4 inches tall kind of module, right? that took out the entire. Remember when they had that Super Bowl in New Orleans and it took out the Super Bowl? Remember, it was just dark for hours, or we're trying to watch Super Bowl when New Orleans was playing. Yeah, that was exactly what that was. That's what did it. That little tiny module, this little electronic module, took out the entire broadcast, took out the Super Bowl, and is also responsible for took out the Western United States back in, what was that, 2013? I want to say. I'm not positive that without looking, but it's just on memory. I think it was somewhere around there because I was there. But anyway, if this piece of equipment that costs less than $1,000, maybe it goes up to $2,500, let's say, right, can do that. And it maybe can go higher. I'm just saying, if it's something that's the weak link. Why isn't that protected better? Why isn't that monitored better? Why is that not hooked up to the Internet of all things, the IoT, right, to where it's monitored all the time? Well, it's because if it's monitored, it could be manipulated, right? So if it's on the network, then that can be attacked from a cyber attack as well. So and that is kind of where we're at right now. We saw that pipeline shut down. We saw all these other things done with cyber attacks, and if you put those sensitive pieces of equipment on the network, then somebody can have access to them to monitor it. for security measures, even somebody else can break in the back door and manipulate it. So, yeah, it's a terrible to think. Most people don't want to think about it. That a tiny little thing like that can disrupt your entire life, potentially for weeks, actually.
And not only that, but right now there's a worldwide shortage on a lot of components and a lot of chips that go into the making of a lot of these replacement pieces that could easily be blown out for whatever reason. So the thing is that there's basically 5 choke points on every major commercial activity in the United States, whether it's moving up and down the highways, going across bridges, whether it's moving in boats, whether it's telecommunications or rail. There's major places where it wouldn't take that many people. It wouldn't take hundreds of thousands of people to come into the country to take over the country or to knock it out.
You know what's fascinating, Jimmy, is that based on your deduction at that position with FEMA where it wasn't determined that there was a threat, it makes me wonder if these things are now happening only because they're allowed to happen. The chess masters want this country taken down now.
Well, and the other part of it is that you hear people talking about the weak electrical system and how we'd be subject to an electromagnetic pulse. And I mean, if we all know this stuff, I mean, doesn't everybody else on the internet know it? I mean, wouldn't our enemies know it? I mean, do people actually think the federal government is that stupid that they would have a system that was vulnerable, that they wouldn't have a backup plan for themselves, that there wouldn't be backup power system has nothing to do with any of that?
What if they were going to escape? What if, look at Trump's daughter, Ivanka, teaching her children Mandarin Chinese. Her, look at the ghost cities in China. Like, our infrastructure is behind. We are supposed to be the most magnificent country in the world, yet we have the shittiest infrastructure. They're not upgrading that crap. It's okay. It's disposable. And we're disposable.
We are, but I just say, anytime, listen, and when people say, well, the government's stupid because they use old technology in these missile silos, well, man, do you know where you can find a 5.5-inch floppy disk? Because, I mean, you know what I mean? Or how about a copy of Windows 98? See if you can find that. I mean, that's even hard to get. But
I think their only stupid mistake is thinking that we are stupid.
Yeah, well, I would assume that they do think we're stupid, but they are not as stupid as everybody thinks.
No, of course not.
And if it looks like they're stupid, believe me, they made a mistake. They didn't teach us very good when we were in school. They taught us a bunch of bunk. They made a mistake. It wasn't their fault. They didn't do it on purpose. They were just stupid. Right.
They have stupid poster children.
It's absolutely out of control, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jimmy. It's in the microcosm here with Danny, Epic Journeyman, Rockin' Rio, and Giuseppe Vavangulo. Rockin' Rio, are you over there somewhere? I muted you up before because I couldn't hear you. So you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Oh, good. So what are you thinking, man? That we're gonna get into this tabletop exercise next week about these 5 choke points in the United States of America. What do you think about this idea that it really wouldn't take hundreds of thousands of people, planes flying in, machine guns, and all this? It'd take a couple quiet sleepers to just be getting a phone call in the middle of the night to go take care of their mission. What do you think about that?
I think that's probably the more likely scenario. I mean, why do they need thousands of people? You have to hit a few key points. That's it, right? I mean, if you can cripple the entire country with knocking out five small points, why bring the hordes out? Do it quietly, do it secretly, sneak them in there. And it even relates back to what we were talking about a little bit last week with the Jericho thing, where there might be some small dirty bombs that go off New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, wherever. I mean, that'll disrupt the entire, not only the country, I mean, it'd disrupt the whole world if that happened. If they take out the stock exchange and some of the importing on the West Coast, very easy to destroy everything that way.
And nobody uses paper anymore, so it's really going to be hard to do the paperwork. You can't just do the paperwork or get your prescriptions from the thing.
There's not even a file folder for them to go back and look at anymore.
No, so I mean, it's really a delicate balance. So the thing is we have this thing called the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, they're there supposedly to protect us from all this stuff. So ever since 9/11 happened, really, there's been no real terrorism on American soil, other than the occasional school shootings or these shootings that happen, and then now recently with the unrest at the Capitol, with the recent unrest. Go ahead.
But they do make a very good job making sure that you don't have any shoe bombs when you get on the airplane.
Yeah, and they make sure Grandma doesn't have anything in her crotch, and they make sure it's literally disgusting. But we've got people that have grown up since this has happened, and they don't even know what it's like to live in a world that doesn't look like that. And so it's only going to get worse from there because they have no real sweat equity in the freedoms that they don't understand that they lost. They don't realize what it used to be like, so it's easy to give up something that you have no sweat equity in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say they haven't lost any freedoms. They just freely hand them back over. They don't want them.
Yeah, but they lost them before they were born, is what I'm saying. If you were born after 9/11 happened, you never went to the airport where it wasn't like it is now. You don't know what it was like to, go meet Grandma. You just walk in there and go give her a hug,
Yeah, exactly. You know what the great example of that is? It's immortalized in a song. Is the song Daniel, right? And I can see Daniel waving goodbye. It's because he used to be able to walk into the terminal right up to the plane and wave from the terminal. That's how it used to be. And nobody today that was born after 9/11 knows what that's like.
Yeah, and so they don't have any real. I mean, to them, the privacy that they have now is that everything is public. So selfies, telling everybody what you're eating, this and that type of thing, So I mean, it's a weird thing, but we have the Department of Homeland Security, and they got to keep us safe from threats. And so Bush administration brought in the whole retired Stasis into the mix with Chertoff and the body scanners, and then he basically set the stage for Obama to come in. And Obama was wreaking havoc from day one. And I mean, he seemed like he wasn't really doing much, but he was doing a lot because he had a cell phone and a pen, and he was hiring people, and he wanted to get this internet shit squared away. He couldn't have it because what was going on the internet at that time was the alternative media was just getting started. And there's very few players out there, and most of the people that were out there were super credible. Their information was tight. Their presentations were tight. The guests that were running around to the shows, all the things that were going on in that moment when Obama came to office. And that was right when What's His Nuts put out the Obama Deception, a book about, the video about Obama. And there was all this controversy about Obama. He wasn't what he said he was, this, that, and the other thing. He's wearing, he's a fascist. There was a few people that were saying he was a fascist. There was one guy, I can't remember his name now, but his name's escaping me. But he wrote a whole book about how Obama was similar to Hitler. And now, obviously every president that comes in gets, measured up to Hitler for some reason. But anyway, when Obama was in there, the alternative media was on fire. They were setting fire to all kinds of stuff on issues. Ron Paul got a bunch of traction. The whole idea behind the liberty movement, the whole thing, the money bomb, all this stuff. There's all this energy building up, and that we were actually going to make change. Their coffee movement or whatever that started out the Patriots out there, and then it got hijacked later on by the Republican Party. But when it first started out, it was organic, and that was the moment when these characters started to arrive around Obama. And that was when Kyle SundStien started coming into the picture, because he wrote a big paper that people really got a hold of it and liked the way it sounded. Danny, was this paper that he wrote over in Harvard. But don't go there yet, because I have something here that we have to do first. I just want to say, here we go. Hold on a second. And
This is Your Life, a program for all Americans. And now here he is, Mr. This Is Your Life himself,
Jimmy Jean. That's right. This is Your Life, Kyle SundStien. Welcome into the microcosm, and it is time to get small, man. Real small, like microscopic. We're going to get all up inside of it, Danny. Harvard, 2009, I'm pretty sure is the date of the paper that Cass Sunstein put forward. Let's get into a little bit of that. What did you think about that document? Pretty interesting, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I think I feel about the same about this guy as you do. I'd like to choke him out. But, honestly, I think I'd like to hurt him a lot for, drag that out a little bit first before I choked him out.
Allegedly.
But that's a whole nother show.
That's right. That's right.
So, the abstract of the paper says it all. It's like the third sentence. Here, I've got it highlighted. Let me click the tab. All right. Those who subscribe to conspiracy theories may create serious risks, including risks of violence, and the existence of such theories raises significant challenges for policy and law. The first challenge is to understand the mechanisms by which conspiracy theories prosper. The second challenge is to understand how theories might be undermined. There you go. That kind of, to me, sums up this man entirely.
And right, and that's like, this is where these government operators and infiltrators were moved into facility for infiltration of the truth movement online via these personas and different avenues that could be gone down as far as research and articles go. And then we saw Jade Helm that was on the horizon too. Giuseppe Vaffangulo, Cass Sunstein, it's his life. And are there some details here in this video that we should get into right away? Let's just get into this, Giuseppe, and then let me know what you think about Cass Sunstein. I'm sure you have a little bit of a roasting mechanism for him in a moment. Let's hear this video.
Head of Obama's Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs is Cass Sunstein. Sunstein, before being chosen for this post, wrote an interesting paper entitled Conspiracy Theories, Causes and Cures. He suggests that in order to silence the escalation of conspiracy theories in America, the federal government should train operatives to infiltrate neighborhood groups and internet chat rooms for the purpose of spreading disinformation, undermining the group's efforts, and planting doubts in the minds of concerned Americans. This man is the head of an agency whose purpose is overseeing policies relating to privacy, information quality, and statistical programs.
There's a little bio on Cass Sunstein. Giuseppe Vaffangulo, are you there?
I'm here.
Go ahead.
I'm here.
Go ahead.
Well, Cass Robert Sunstein is listed as an American legal scholar, but he's the typical kind of dual citizen plant, right? He totally reminds me of the subtle but traitorous operative like Amitai Azioni at George Washington University, just a few miles from here, where I am in my bunker 11 miles west of the District of Criminals. And in both cases, these are gentlemen who are, as Epic said earlier, highly intelligent. There's no way about it. But they're also psychological deviants. If you look at the picture of this guy, Cass Sunstein, you just can see that he is a psychopath. I mean, his eyes are cold, and he just views most of us as sheep or cattle, and he doesn't like the fact that the 7.3 billion worldwide cattle have access to a remarkable information sharing tool such as the internet. So once again, he uses euphemisms like conspiracy theorists when he really means people telling the truth. And it gets better because Sunstein has been propped up, put into positions of power to serve as globalist masters, but nowhere is it more obvious than his power marriage to pun Samantha Power, who was the ambassador to the United Nations under Obama, and actually and then continued for a little bit under Trump. And so what you've got is these people, these arrogant technocrats, I guess you could call these, because they're the new level of meritocracy. And so what you have is people who literally, I mean, her eyes are as dark and psychopathic looking as his. And I would just say that, you know, these are the kind of people who serve the globalists, serve the New World Order, serve the World Economic Forum Great Reset, right? And they are the attack dogs at the intermediate level of power who are out to convince normies that it's wrong to think, wrong to speak the truth, and they are extremely dangerous to us.
Well, the other thing is, too, before you guys jump in on this, I want to point out is that people are under the impression, I mean, these are the positions that don't change a lot of times when the president changes. The only thing that changes is the mission or the commander-in-chief. What exactly it is that we're going to have these forces, that we've marshaled forces against the American people covertly on the internet, where we don't need warrants to surveil you because there is no physical wired connection that you need a court order to get. So anybody with the wherewithal can do anything they want to anyone who has a computer. But the thing is, let's just look at this a little bit, because Jade Helm was happening also during the Obama administration. And that was one of the biggest data scraping operations in the history of the internet, because that was mastering the human domain. And this is when Cass Sunstein got his list of people that he needed to deal with. And he was going to deal with them in these covert, microscopic ways of feeding you false information in your feed bag, your news feed, sending out articles, putting articles in people's searches so that these articles come up, and then getting people to do the legwork on the articles for them because they thought they found some secret shit on CIA.gov or whatever. You know, so half the documents people grab onto and drag onto the internet were put there by somebody specifically just to start a fire and to take smart, good minds away from what was going on originally, which was there was a political change movement that was happening. And it got squashed through these methods, and they went directly and for the throat of the conservatives. So, Epic Journeyman, do you want to jump in on a little bit of this?
I just want to say that he hits the middle ground so well that it's a weapon. Okay, so like what he does is, he's not conservative, he's not libertarian, he's not liberal, he's not whatever, right? He's whatever he needs to be. He's a chameleon at the time, just to get the message across. And so what he does, we talk about the behavioral modification complex or social engineering. But he calls it behavioral modification directly, right? Or behavioral. I don't have the word. I looked it up earlier, but he does call it that, which I think is interesting because there's no doubt that he's taken this kind of Tavistock Stanford SRI plan and implemented it directly into a usable technique, right? And so one of the ways he does that is through these papers he periodically puts out, and he coins these terms. These terms become legal doctrine only because he's a professor at the time at the University of Illinois and then at Harvard. But because he had that clout, they become in the lexicon of things that are used in legal arguments. So one of them is libertarian paternalism, right? And the other one is cyber balkanism. Cyber balkanism is a fascinating one because this term cyber balkanism means that it's collecting all the information into one place and then branching, but they're separate from everything else. So we're talking about feedback loops and
echo chambers.
Feedback loops, specifically echo chambers, yeah. And so when you talk about how they want to take someone and put them in a position where they can nudge, he wrote a book called Nudge. And the idea is that people will inhabit these chat rooms, specifically these chat rooms, and nudge the conversation in a direction to what he called behavioral economics. That's the word he used. So that is so diabolical on its face. It really is. But nobody calls him out on it. Nobody talks about it because he's just some talking egghead on TV. right? But seriously, this is not just some abstract thing. That this is scientifically calculated. It's a calculation meant to actually bring a result.
What's up, Danny?
Hey. Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned the Harvard Law thing, because when he was first doing that, it was called the Program of Risk Regulation. And it doesn't, surprisingly exist now. It's called the Strategic Management of Regulatory and Enforcement Agencies. And he just happens to be on leave at the moment. And, so there's other people filling in because maybe somebody caught wind of him being a total POS. But, I mean, to me, it's hilarious that he's applauded among so many things as being an expert in both constitutional law and behavioral science, which I would assume that people with a mindset similar to mine would see this as possibly slightly dangerous combo, maybe. And
incredibly
right. And SundStien sure did make most of that, but so you guys haven't mentioned it yet. I'm sure you're probably aware, because this is his one of his favorite words is the nudge. Mm-hmm. So in 2009 he wrote that book, Nudge, and Improving Decisions About Health, Wealth, and Happiness. And this is where he lets us know that what procrastinating losers we are, and tries to blame that on having too many choices in life, that which will probably cause us to lock up and not make all the choices necessary to navigate our own life problems, because like the pesky subhumans just aren't capable of critical thinking. So we should just let air quote experts make our decisions for us, because most of us want them to do that for us anyway. So
a key term that you just used there was called lockup. And lockup is a psychological dilemma that happens to people when they're fed opposing information. At the same time, the information that cancels each other out. It's hard to decide. It's hard to make a decision, and people get locked up and they freeze in position and they don't do anything. And that's exactly what you've seen happen in the alternative media. There's never been, and when I say action, I don't mean violence. I mean, I see thousands of hours of people bitching and crying about all the protesting going on, but at least the protesters are out there doing something about what they feel is not what they want, how they want the country to go.
Yeah, I just wish protesters would understand, please, any protester on any issue, please realize that when you are going outside and protesting in the road, you are begging for your already God-given right.
Yeah.
You're plain and simple. You are going out and asking them to give you what is already yours.
First Amendment, right? It's absolutely First Amendment. Yeah.
That's true. And you know what the answer is going to be? The answer is
no.
Answer is no. The answer is go away and go back into your house where you belong, or else I'm going to send the extraction team to come and pull you out.
Hide in your boat. Hide your boat and protest from there while we just wait for those guys to show up.
Wait, but you can't have too much food in your pantry, because if it's more than 6-7 days, then that's grounds for suspicion of terrorism. You don't want to be suspected of that. And then, but sorry, I won't go off in a rant of that, but I was reading.
Yeah, totally.
I was reading some reviews on that. I was curious about what people,
Today is your birthday.
Uh-oh.
Danny, California.
It is.
Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Damn.
There we go. Banned worldwide for your birthday. Right here on In the Microcosm.
Everybody drink.
Everybody drink. Okay. So do you guys want to go over and shout out the chat room? It's 11:11. We can go shout out the chat room at Aftermath.fm. You can become a member. Just go over there, Aftermath.fm/microcosm, and we will be supported by your membership, so we'd appreciate that. If you're already a member and you're not a member of our group, I would highly recommend you do if you like the show, because I post stuff in there on a regular basis, stuff that I find that might be interesting. So might not necessarily talk about it on the show, but it will be in the group. So if you join the group, then you'll know when I post something, and then boom, you'll be informed. So this is Into the Microcosm. I'm sitting here with Giuseppe Vaffangulo, Rock in Rio, Epic Journeyman, and the lovely birthday girl, the sugar of my coffee, the honey of my tea, Danny, California. Are you there?
Aw, shucks. I'm there.
Will you step on into the chat room? I know the window looks a little foggy, so it looks damp in there. Is it sweaty and smoky in there too?
You know, these people are actually, I'm not even joking, like tearing me up right now. Which is not hard to do, but
You're verklempt.
I'm verklempt.
You're in the emotional moon, aren't you?
Oh, Jimmy, you know, fucking Mercury in retrograde. It would just have to be on my birthday this year. It would just have to be. So what do you do? So we're going to turn that around. We're not going to let it get us down.
No,
we're gonna wreck something with that. We're gonna flip it, and we're gonna wreck some shit.
Yeah, turn that frown upside down, and don't you worry about a thing. Go ahead.
Grandson breakfast at Denny's. That's what you got to do. That's it.
Oh no, not the
Pre-birthday. Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, man.
Wait, well they got rid of ours. I can't go get my Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity anymore. It's gone.
Those mofos.
It's all right.
I know.
I've seen.
I do still have a Waffle House.
I've seen nothing but riots at Denny's lately. Every time I see some riot video that happens at Denny's, like something happens with the pancakes, or the syrup's not right, and people just go psycho. It's crazy.
You want to know some shit though? Last time I ordered some IHOP, I did not get syrup. What is that?
That's impossible, isn't it? It's like,
I know.
I went to English class and there's no chalkboard with cursive on it. What the hell?
Isn't that kind of the point?
Let's get to the chat.
Yeah. So Ace Hanlon, Andy Gump, sorry, Peach, PCB, Blue Eyes, Braids, hi, Brent Howell. Oh, there's a new one. Sita Riva, Chadrick Myers, Chris from the UK, Cybermeister, DB12. D. Martin, Dr. Fate, Finbar, Freedom, Ghost, Bushido.
Nice.
Giuseppe Vaffangulo. I love your name.
Hateratza.
Ice Cream Man, Impact, XVX, Irene, Jagged 2020, Jeremiah H, Jew, hi Jew, Jimmy Dean, Shalom. You throw me off every time you say that, Jimmy.
I just expect it.
I know I do, but it's still it's good. Johnny F150, JP Young, JTFU 101, Jumper Freak 86, Care Bear. Hi, that's someone I like.
Nice.
KCB 1968, Lou Massacre Moody, Menace Man, Michael 13, Mike Montafon, Mike 7171, Mode Ben. I don't have your Mode Ben Avraham, Moose Girl. Hi, hey, how's it going? Maudib. Nancy 6072 Racer,
nice.
RCG, Rick Rocks. There's a lot of people in there.
Blue
Jimmy.
Eyes. How's it?
This is beautiful.
It's great.
I hope it keeps going for like 15 more minutes.
It
Rio,
will.
hi Rio, Solo, Sunspot, Sweeney, T-Bow, Teresa, Does NE, Tim Wolf. This is somebody I've never seen. Taiki Vadi.
Nice. Excellent.
Unusual, like retarded weirdo Danny, Will Call Magic, and Rowdy. He's so rowdy.
Hey, Rowdy. Good to see you, man. Rowdy Piper. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. He's got the glasses on, and he is ready to rock. He's all out of bubblegum because he's here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and he's all out of bubblegum. My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. That's right. In the middle of the night, it's not your daddy's late night. It's right here, Aftermath FM, Monday through Friday, 10:30 Pacific. Immediately following the BMOC, the big man on campus, Clyde Lewis, Ground Zero. It's in the microcosm.
In
petals of a thorn bush, like all the colors of a royal blush. And it's peeling off those dollar bills, slapping them down. 100, 200. And I can see those fighter planes. And I can see those fighter planes across the mud huts with children sleep, through the alleys of quiet city street. We take the staircase to the first floor. We turn the key and slowly unlock.
My name's Jimmy. You guys there? Hello.
I was grooving. Sorry, man. I was off in the space room there.
I know.
You know who I found back there? Zach Wilde was back there trying to sneak out this crystal, man. What the fuck?
I don't know. It's this thing, man. You gotta lock that door, man. You gotta lock that door. So there it goes. You too. I don't like their politics, but I do like a few of their songs. So there we go. Cass Sunstein, we're back at it. Ladies and gentlemen, Cass Sunstein, This Is Your Life. Giuseppe Vaffangulo, have your imagination been sparked by the recent conversation we were having there before the interruption of you two?
Absolutely. The interesting thing about Cass Sunstein, This Is Your Life, is he was one of the unconstitutional czars that the globalist operative Barack Hussein Obama put in place in his first 6 months as the installed traitor that he was. He gave speeches. Obama gave speeches like Martin Luther King Jr. and then began serving his globalist masters like a VP of the Rothschild Incorporated. And so that was a huge red flag in my mind back in the day when Cass Sunstein was essentially appointed the censorship czar. And that was really a problem that is just festered like an infected wound for the last many years.
What do you guys think? I got a clip here I want to play in a minute. So just you guys want to jump in here, come on back, because I need to jump in on this clip in a minute. Did you guys have something you want to say? Because I want to bring something to the table here that applies to what we're talking about. Because this...
No, I think it should. I mean, the thing that about him is that he's very much a Straussian philosopher. You know what I mean? He's expounded upon the things that Leo Strauss did. Let the rulers rule. He's one of these guys who said the presidential authority should override the Supreme Court, right? People forget about this, right? Like the things that Trump's accused of now, and he deserves it, right? Are the things that Sunstein brought up. Sunstein brought those things up. Mm-hmm. He's the guy who had the strong executive originally, in the legal scholarly method to put behind it, you know, to give some kind of authority because of his clout as a professor. But honestly, man, like I said, he's a walking oxymoron. He's a jumbo shrimp. He's a liberal conservative liberal, whatever he wanted to be at the time. But the bottom line is, and that net effect, and I'm fond of that word, the net effect is that he's trying to move the needle more into executive branch authority.
He did move the needle. He moved the needle in a big way. And, you know, the thing is that, you know, Israel plays a big role in part of what's going on with, you know, because a lot of the internet traffic and a lot of the phone switching goes through Israel before it comes back to America, and there's a couple of companies over there that do that type of thing. So the thing about it is that we have a situation here where you know, we're wondering exactly what it is that they're looking for, or what are they searching for. So now it seems to me the big list of terrorists that they have are the conservative Christian gun owners, freedom of speech lovers, information junkies, anybody that has anything to do with social influence that comes through the internet. We never even know, but I mean, we go in these chat rooms and we meet people, we make friends, and lots of us have never met any people, you know, in real life. Maybe some of us have, and you know, that's a minority. But for the most part, I mean, realistically, we really don't know a lot of people. I've met people in chat rooms for years. I mean, everybody on this panel right now, except for Giuseppe Vafangulo, I met in our chat rooms for the show. So I met Rio, I met Danny, and I met Epic. Now we've seen each other and met each other, through video and stuff. But I'm just saying, we've never actually met, except for Epic's met me when I was in junior high, believe it or not. And we didn't know that. But the point is that, so when this started, technology was at a certain level. Okay, and since that time, just about everybody's went ahead and got an Amazon in their house, even though they know everything about Amazon. They know everything about having this device that is listening to you. The same thing with Google devices. They're listening to you, constantly waiting for you to call out to them to have them do something for you. So subsequently, the Stasi has gotten Americans to actually pay people for the device to stick in their own house, Epic Journeyman. And now Amazon's coming up with a new thing that we're going to have to keep reminding people about so they can opt out of this before they get taken advantage of.
Sidewalk.
So let's bring this into the conversation real quick before I get to this next piece.
No, there's a thing called Amazon Sidewalk, and what it does ostensibly, it tells you that you have till the 8th of this month, which is next Tuesday, I believe, to opt out of it. Which really means you have to do it on the 7th because it goes live on the 8th, right? So don't play around, right? So 4 days from now, really 3 days from now, you have 3 days to go ahead, and any device you have that's run by Amazon is on this. Now, what they say is it's Amazon Echo, Amazon Dot, and Ring devices like the cameras and things like that. But that's not entirely true. It's also Alexa and Kindle and everything else, because the backbone, that's what they call it, of a network, we all know this, right, runs through Alexa. Alexa is the thing. So you hook your Dots up and your Echoes and things onto the Alexa network. Alexa automatically hooks up. So if you have Alexa, it's automatically part of this network. Right.
Well, Epic, what's even worse is it's not only hijacking your devices, the so-called Internet of Things, it's opening up to anybody walking by can jump in on your sidewalk, which means they can gain entry to your personal internet. It's just outrageous.
Your camera, your everything. What I was thinking of, I said it last night, I couldn't remember the name of it, Energy Star compliant devices. So Energy Star compliant devices, almost everything has the Energy Star logo on it now. You can buy a new AC, water heater, whatever. It's got that on there, right? And what does that mean? People don't even think about it. Oh, Energy Star. Well, it means we're saving some fuel somewhere, or, it's more energy efficient. No, what it means is that it has this link to the Internet of Things, right? That it will enable it at some point to link up, just like the city of Neom was going to do in Saudi Arabia, where this Internet of Things will link to the network through your devices. It'll monitor how much electricity you use. It'll see you're not at home, because the camera is going to show you're not at home. Let's say, for example, right, and turn down your air conditioner. And by down I mean let the temperature go higher, because it knows you're not there. And that's all well and good, right? Except it's not. You didn't agree to that. Right? But because you're on this network and everybody else is linked to it, and the thing that's so nefarious is that it doesn't matter if you get rid of your internet. Like, you can get rid of your Spectrum, you get rid of your Cox cable, whatever it is. I'm going to be a Luddite. I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. Okay, fine. If you still have one of these devices in your house, it's still going to link up, because that's what this does. It links up. It's in your end user license agreement that you are allowing them to do that by owning it in the first place. And so what happens is it just automatically links up. So you get rid of your internet, guess what? You still got 80 kbps no matter what, no matter where you go. If you are in range of one of these devices, you will automatically have that internet connection no matter what, because it'll take it from your neighbors. And it caps supposedly in case they're on a metered rate, their usage at 500 megabytes per month, right? But that doesn't matter. It's just linking up these devices, right? Because once it's linked up, it can ad hoc on anybody else. And as Jimmy well knows, this is exactly how you set up cellular networks. It's exactly how you set them up. Once one device links to another device, one network links to another network, that area of coverage increases and magnifies exponentially. It will cover the entire planet, man. And think about what's going to happen when these Starlink things are up on it, and these devices over the world, and they make them basically free to everybody. They're going to get them because they don't know better.
Yeah, and the other thing is that when you see this being rolled out publicly to you have to opt in, you better believe that they've been running this in the background for a long time already. And you better believe that there's like micro networks that present themselves in your own home between these devices. They're passing information, but your TV's passing information over to your thermostat because it sees there's only one person in the room and there's no reason to have that much heat on, or so on and so forth. So I mean, the energy management, the home management, the resource management is all coinciding with one giant system. Listen, if there was somebody under surveillance or they were chasing somebody, you know what happens? They take control and command over your security system at your house. Yeah, that's right. They can grab your camera network and look at it, and they can grab your camera network next door neighbor, and they can follow you from house to house to house to house. When I say they, I mean surveillance or law enforcement chasing a fugitive. Well, maybe why are you a fugitive? Well, maybe you said something you weren't supposed to say on your radio show, or you blogged it out and said something you shouldn't have said. And then they came and kicked in your door. And you ran away, and then they got your face. So now they got your face. Well, interesting. They got your face. Well, it ties exactly in with what we're talking about tonight, because this wasn't available to old Cass Sunstein when he wrote his paper, but it's available now. And, it's something that people got. The Chicago Police Department, coincidentally enough, Cass Sunstein in Chicago, well, let's take a listen to this. My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm.
In Privacy Watch, critics say a controversial startup poses a new and profound threat to everyone's privacy. The facial recognition software attempts to match people's faces with billions of images scraped off social media websites and shares them with security agencies. CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett spoke to Clearview AI's co-founder and chief executive officer in his first network TV interview, and you're here with me now. So, Errol, good morning. Tell me about what the CEO said.
Well, Wonton Tat says he wants you and the general public to trust him. The 31-year-old says his company's facial recognition technology is only available to law enforcement right now, and it is to be used to identify potential criminals. But there are serious questions about whether this software is too invasive.
Right now we have, billions and billions of images from millions of different websites all across the open internet.
This is what Clearview AI's database would look like to law enforcement, says founder Wonton Tat, if, for example, they were searching for me. I mean, I gotta say, it's slightly unnerving seeing someone able to scroll through so many images of my face.
But you have to remember that this is only used for investigations after the fact. This is not a 24/7 surveillance system.
Tontat says his artificial intelligence program can identify someone from an image in seconds. It matches faces of unknown people to their online photos and the sites the images originally came from. The results, he says, are 99.6% accurate.
Would you like to have a try?
Sure. Let's see. When we tried out the company's phone app, even covering half my face, it still worked on the first try.
There we go.
Tontat says Clearview has 3 billion images in its database sourced from millions of websites and social media platforms in a method known as scraping. Wired editor-in-chief Nick Thompson says facial recognition raises sobering moral and ethical questions.
In order to build it, you have to scrape a lot of public information in ways that may be legal, but that certainly goes against the terms of service of companies like Facebook and Twitter. Secondly, this is really creepy. And the big companies who have the data already haven't wanted to do it.
YouTube, Facebook, Venmo, and Twitter told CBS News scraping is against their policies. Last night, Google and YouTube sent Clearview a cease and desist letter, and this comes weeks after Twitter did the same, demanding Clearview stop scraping pictures from their platform and delete any data taken. Are you aiming to comply with Twitter?
Our legal counsel has reached out to them and are handling it accordingly. But there is also a First Amendment right to public information. So the way we have built our system is to only take publicly available information and index it that way.
And you believe you have a First Amendment right
completely
to access what's on the platform? Clearview says more than 600 law enforcement agencies across the country use this software, but wouldn't say how many are free trial subscriptions. New Jersey Attorney General Kabir Graywall recently ordered state law enforcement agencies to temporarily stop using this technology until they learn more.
What are your concerns with this technology?
I'm not categorically opposed to facial recognition technology. I think used properly, it can help us solve criminal cases more quickly. It could help us apprehend child abusers, domestic terrorists. But what I am opposed to is the wide-scale collection of biometric information and the use of it without proper safeguards by law enforcement.
But Tontat argues Clearview AI is essentially a search engine for faces.
Google can pull in information from all different websites. So if it's public, and it's out there, and it can be inside Google's search engine, it can be inside ours as well.
In a statement to CBS News, Google calls that comparison inaccurate, writing, quote, "We give webmasters control over what information from their site is included in our search results, including the option to opt out entirely."
This platform is very powerful, but it relies on transparency for people to trust and believe it.
Yeah.
And there just isn't much of that available right now.
Well, that's why I'm here on TV explaining all these things, and that's why we meet with a lot of the people in government.
Tontat tells CBS News the technology won't be made available to the general public as long as he's running Clearview. But Thompson says it may not be so simple.
So Clearview says, you may be worried about our technology, but it's just used by police departments to catch terrorists and keep you safe. But if we know anything from the history of technology and the history of Silicon Valley, it's that the initial intended use is not the only use.
And riffing off that last point, I'm sure a lot of people who are watching say this is disconcerting. So has there been any public response to this new software?
Well, what's interesting is most people are concerned when they first hear about it, but that includes New Jersey's Attorney General, who we spoke with. He only found out that police departments in New Jersey were using this technology when the New York Times first exposed this company in January.
He didn't even know.
He didn't.
So there you go. So all you got to do is get a picture of you, and they could scrape your social media and know exactly who you are. And that doesn't even have to be law enforcement or something like this. It could just be some dude down at the bar that sees you sitting at the bar and wants to know who you are. And they scrape
$39 a month. Yeah.
And they come up to you and they go, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I play softball. I just got done playing softball," because they looked at your thing. They saw you play softball. They know all this stuff about you. All of a sudden, they can create this seductive character that we were talking about before that easily suck you right in. So it's easy to do that, grift you, take advantage of you, get you in a vulnerable position. And being in a vulnerable position is what lockup is all about, is keeping people vulnerable because they're unsure about which way things are coming from, or if things are coming, or they're not sure it's up, it's down, it's back and forth. People don't know which way it's coming from because they have you every way from Sunday. No matter which way you look, they've got you figured out. They've seen what you've done on the internet. You know what I mean? There's no question. It's a 99% accuracy rate as far as predicting what you're going to do. Or not what you're going to do, what I'm going to do, and Danny's going to do, what Epic's going to do, is, there's a few choices that we would be given, and given those choices systematically over the years, we've chosen a certain way, so they can be pretty sure that we're going to be choosing a certain way. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if this is accurate or if it's an advertising campaign for more dollars for DARPA or something, but supposedly within 8 minutes, there's a 90% accuracy of predicting what you're going to do. In other words, what we're doing right now, like what we're talking about right now, they can predict within 8 minutes time from now what we're going to talk about. What we're
like a
do.
Minority Report sort of situation.
Yeah, but now it started because of all the diverging paths. After that, it gets fuzzier after. But for 8 minutes, it used to only be like a couple minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. But supposedly it's up to 8 minutes. Now, is that true, or is that just some kind of propaganda campaign? I don't know. But the thing is, even the idea of the propaganda campaign is enough to make us think about it, and that's altering our behavior. The behavioral modification that our very man we're talking about today was describing, right? Because now, who's the doofus here? Because we're looking it up, we're thinking about it, and we believe it, right? It doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's what we believe. And that's the powerful tool. That's the currency of the universe. We believe it, right? So there you go. And that's all you have to do. Once people believe it, it doesn't matter if it's true or not.
Giuseppe Vaffangulo, you there? Danny, are you there? Who's that?
I'm
Anybody
here.
there?
What's incredibly disturbing to me, Jimmy, and that was a great clip, by the way, is if you think about it, Google has been bold in their arrogance talking about the singularity and this merging with transhumans. Amazon is doing it and doesn't brag about it. And so you've got these patents for introducing in these injections little nanotechnology that can trace you and get in your brain. And all of a sudden, instead of the Terminator with Skynet being a military problem, it suddenly becomes a corporate problem with these transnational corporations are trying to wire everything, including coming right into your brain. And it is incredibly disturbing to me, and yet there is no force on earth that seems to be able to stop them right now.
Well, wasn't Amazon's sidewalk thing compared to neural mesh? Isn't it an experiment for neural mesh? I'm sorry, I'm having an allergy issue.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it is. And there's news today. I'm a VR developer, right? So that's what I do professionally. It's just one of my hobbies. But so I have all these headsets and I get all the software upgrades and all that stuff, right? So one of the things that happened just this week is that I do not have the Oculus Quest 2 because it's linked to Facebook. I refuse to be linked to Facebook. I will not do it, right? Because that is LifeLock. That is LifeLock. That is DARPA's LifeLock project. There's no question about it. It's just an extension. So I will not be part of that. However, their operating system is updated yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It incorporates the brain interface into it.
Right.
Literally.
And I was looking at, because I do have a couple Amazon tablets, and I was looking at them for the what's Alexa? Is that her name? I don't know. I have it disabled.
That's her.
I don't know who was on what device. I would never put one of those dot things in my house, but it was not. I mean, I don't have newer ones. I have old ones, and so it wasn't even on there. So I went to the website, Amazon website, just to check, and then there's no sidewalk listed there. So I went back to the settings in the tablets, and it said, "We're sorry, our customer service phone lines are down right now." It's like, okay, well.
Yeah, right. The people who are trying to opt out can't opt out. That's what I was brought up last night. There are people trying to opt out, and it's not working.
Yeah, you were saying that people were trying to opt out, and then when they went back, it was still turned on.
Yeah. So I mean, after the 8th, it doesn't matter. You're opting whether you wanted to or not. You can't change it after that. So
in the white paper, they sort of vaguely seem to say that you could maybe later, but it also admitted that devices made after 2018 that had Alexa were automatically just set to be using
all
that.
those TVs are $389 at Costco.
There you go.
Every single one of them.
That's a boom, boom, boom. Out go the lights, because that's exactly what I wanted to talk about next was TVs.
Yeah, I spent a couple hours today trying to find a list of devices that have that sidewalk. Nowhere. I could not find a comprehensive list.
Well, Amazon's got enough money to pay people that build all the things that we use in our house to pre-prepare their products for Amazon's future rollout of these types of devices. So your TVs and refrigerators and all that stuff. I mean, there could be circuit boards in there put in there specifically on the motherboard directly from Amazon, where they paid this refrigerator company a couple $100 off the cost of their box to throw. This is an example. I don't know this for a fact. Okay, so I'm just putting out a hypothetical example of how this shit works. It's the same thing happens with your cell phone when it's built. Okay.
Well, Jimmy, probably in the last maybe year and a half, I was reading something about how, the decline in new manufactured houses, but the upswing in the trend of manufactured multifamily homes, and they're being built under contracts by these major companies to be smart homes, and they have all of this Amazon technology built in. Mm-hmm. So you're like, if you buy a newly manufactured house, you're basically in this surveillance matchbox.
Yeah, and they normalize the device being in your room. I mean, this little tower in your room is your miniature. It's your panopticon, man. Because that little tower in your room and in your house is constantly watching you. Because it's watching you, you know you have to behave in front of it. Because anything you say can and will be used against you, you know, and that is a fact, Jack. So listen, if it's listening and it's recording you, so just like we talked about last night, gathering the information is not illegal. And you can use the information by court order if it's been gathered. So assume that if this device is in your house, now it's been normalized. You know, they did an experiment back, I'm not sure how long ago this was, but they put a person in a black bag inside of a college room, a classroom. And they started, the black bag person was there at the beginning of the class. And as, you know, when the class started, everybody's like, what is that? Black bag. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's talking about it. And, you know, what is in there? And the whole class is a buzz, you know, and this goes on for a period of time until, you know, eventually people just get used to the dude sitting in a black bag, a black gauze bag in the class until it becomes normal. And it's the same thing that happens with cameras. It's the same thing that happens with Amazon. Same thing that happens with Google. As all these things, at some point, you forget they're there. Okay, and once you forget they're there, that's when you need to remember what you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, because you got in an argument with whoever it was in your house, and then somebody ended up with a black eye and a broken finger down at the hospital, and then, you know, somebody got killed. Well, they're gonna go ahead and exhume that information. So it's a dangerous world we're living in. And when you have the Stasi that came in here to help us against the terroristic threat, and they built this whole apparatus around this idea of this boogeyman terrorism that's out there, that we got to fight them over there before they fight them over here. And now what they've done is they've taken what we've allowed them to do against our better judgment, the torture, the surveillance, the mind control, the social engineering, the propaganda, all of this that we've been doing to other people, they've turned now that whole apparatus back around against the American people. And the enemy that they've chosen is going to be the people that went to the Capitol on the 6th. That is the biggest threat as far as Homeland Security is concerned in America, is the right, Christian, gun-owning, freedom-loving Americans. And that's it. So now what? Because the thing was, see, we were okay with it when it was being done to other people. Now it's being done to us. Now what are we going to do about it? Is there anything we can do at this point? Because
hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I got a small clip. Let me share screen and play this for you that just came out.
Yeah, go ahead. Either that or throw me the link.
In the last day.
Yeah, either that or throw me the link in here and I'll grab it real quick. And
I got it all set already.
Go ahead. Throw it down with it.
Okay, here you go. Talk about who's the target, who's the bullseye. Here you go. Biden yesterday.
Go ahead.
The direction of Congress, according to the intelligence community, terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al-Qaeda, white supremacists.
Perfect. And that leads us into, what, this show, I just downshifted into third, and we're about to turn this show on upside down. Are you ready? I'm going to show you how Cass Sunstien's operation worked right now, right this minute. Okay, you guys ready?
Absolutely.
This show is about to take a really good turn, and you guys let me know when you want me to, because there's a lot of information going to be coming your way real quick. Because I didn't know we were going in this direction, but now we are going in this direction. My name is Jimmy, it's into the microcosm. Let's get into this.
Today's Alt-Right Unite the Right rally is expected to draw over 6,000 people.
The white supremacist movement shocked the nation with a show of force in Charlottesville, Virginia. They spilled blood in the streets, militant and unafraid.
Panic and horror in Charlottesville. A car slams into a crowd of counter-protesters when a driver plowed into the crowd, killing a young woman and injuring 19.
White supremacists killed one protester and injured dozens of others.
The attempted arrest was caught on camera. The video of last night's confrontation shows a white police officer with his knee pinning down the neck of the suspect.
His name was George Floyd. He's on video saying, "Please, please, I can't breathe." It's a Minneapolis police officer.
We're just like, man, this is crazy. We're already fighting a common terror, which is COVID, and now this now? You know, people were just pissed off, like, this is just ridiculous. How can you kill this man?
No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police.
The outrage began with a video showing an officer kneeling on Floyd's neck.
People have gathered in front of the 3rd precinct.
Sitting here in front of officers who are complicit in the murder of George Floyd.
Thousands packed the area protesting the death of George Floyd.
How many times have we watched police officers murder people?
You're numb to it after so many of them. It's been happening for so long.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
But then it's a little different. You're like, wow, that just happened right here on 38th. The fact that it happened in my neighborhood was what really pulled me into it.
Alex Jones is part of a bigger phenomenon. What people like Alex Jones and others showed us is that conspiracy theories are an effective political tool. They work. They help shape elections. They help shape public discussion. They help people decide what to believe. Conspiracy theories work.
All across the country, you will see theories out there.
Alex Jones helped usher in a new and dangerous era in American politics.
American conspiracy theories are entering a dangerous new phase.
One where the truth doesn't matter.
COVID-19 is a Joy-Con mobilist bioweapon.
Where political opponents treat each other as mortal enemies.
Hillary Clinton is a damn demon.
Where lies and conspiracies flourish.
Pizzagate is real. Sandy Hook, it's got inside job written all over.
The United States.
Disinformation is having a theory.
The story of how Alex Jones helped bring conspiracies into the mainstream began on the fringes of America.
Turn it up, Donald J. Trump.
He's going up to the microphones. He's going to be
the Golden Toad.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here because I want you guys to. I really want to emphasize. You listen to this right here. Okay, this is the night Trump got elected. Okay, ready? Here we go. When I snap my fingers and I count to 3, you're gonna wake up. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Going up to the microphones. He's going to be
the Golden Toad.
I assume he'll mention the phone call he received.
Get ready. I tell you, he charges into a goblin's nest. This is amazing. As long as he doesn't kiss a goblin, goblins vomit. Catch him in bed with a goblin. I don't think there's any danger of that. No, he defeated the goblins. He did it.
Stone and Jones believed that they had been instrumental in getting Donald Trump elected, or that certainly they had driven successful narratives that helped to get him elected.
He said, "You don't understand. This is just the beginning."
Now we are bound forever. And if we don't deliver this plan and free humanity, we will be bound to the ninth circle of hell. I'm bound to this truth, and I will never stop delivering.
In that moment, it was visible that there was a reaction because he started crying. I mean, his emotions were evident. They were streaming down his face.
I've said it. I've already run my course. I already know my entire life purpose has been completed. I will continue on. But now, I realize I've won.
All right, Austin,
He was a late-night access TV personality in Austin, Texas.
Well, that night, he realized he won. What do you guys think about that? I got a whole bunch of this stuff, man. I mean, I got a bunch of this stuff, and I'm going to play some of it tonight because it's exactly what we're talking about. Because,
ladies and gentlemen.
It sounded like he was drunk out of his mind, and so was the person from the other side. They were all freaking intoxicated.
He was drunk. And you know, he just agrees and walked into a toad's
No,
nest.
it's cognitive dissonance, dude. They were thrown into it. No, I'm serious. That's exactly what it was. So
I'm laughing because you're right, but
Yeah.
But didn't he blame his listeners on being totally psychopathic, and so that put him in a state of psychosis, and he's sorry.
Right. Yeah. to save his kids, from the lawsuit was his divorce.
Yeah, so this
and
is
save his career also. Of course.
So the thing is that his legitimization, happens when he has people of intense political value come on the show. So in the beginning, when he used to have people on, they were really nobodies, but that were willing to talk to him. And so, but they did have positions in the government at some point or whatever, and so he would typically bring a guest on, and if the guest was somebody that he wanted to, that he had a problem with, that whatever they were doing, he would usually get them on, bring them on there, say some shit that would piss them off, and then they'd go and they'd take off. There wouldn't be an interview, but it would be a dynamic presentation. But really, it didn't mean anything. It's the noise and sound and fury of an idiot signifying nothing. Not that he's an idiot, but I'm just quoting it. But anyway, point is that once the seductive character has been created, the Cass Sunstein operation that's going on the internet, whether or not he's a part of it or not, or he knows about it or not, he can be used as a tool by getting him support financially through money bombs, anonymously. Big donations come in and you build a giant TV studio. Allegedly, something's wrong with that. I'm not saying that there is. He's a good businessman. He's a whatever he may be, but there is quite a bit of social engineering going on there. The learned helplessness, the millions of people bowing down to the altar of negativity over there every morning, creating the horrible future that everybody dreads so much. They dread it so much, but yet they think about it all day, every day, creating it for themselves. Waiting for the camps to open, waiting for the arrests to happen, red dots on your mailbox, blue dots. Those won't be on your mailbox. Those will be on the contact tracer's cell phone. When they show up at your door, you'll have a red or a blue dot. And then I guess...
I would like to know your comments on that rally, though, there in South Carolina.
Which rally?
The white supremacy.
Charlottesville, Virginia.
Virginia. Sorry, I was just in South Carolina, and
I'm just
got
wondering,
Greenville on my mind.
to be honest with you, I wasn't there. I didn't see it. So on a lot of these things, I kind of wonder, and I know that you're particularly interested in things that are said to have happened, news stories that developed that the thing actually, nothing even happened in the place where it supposedly happened. Did this happen there?
Well, something did happen there, but there was actually the overwhelming, from what I could gather, and I've been looking into this particular situation for a while, off and on. I'm not focused on it over the last couple months, but there was a lot of Antifa people there, recognized Antifa members pretending to be white supremacists, chanting this stuff. They were not actually like the neo-Nazis, which neo-Nazis are gross to me. They're nasty, but it's the same sort of situation, and just like this, Cass, the nudge. You get a newspaper on the West Coast, and you get the same article, in a newspaper on the East Coast, but the one on the West Coast wants you to think one way, and the one on the East Coast wants you to think another way. And nobody actually reads the article; they just read the title. So you get this emotionally driven thought about the situation based on just a few words. And that is enough of a nudge to make this, us versus them paradigm continue. And as long as that people are willing to allow themselves to keep going with this, oh well, this is important to me, and this is huge, and you don't think like I do, so you must be just evil. As long as people aren't going to snap out of that shit, this is not going to get better. There's a planned, I wholeheartedly believe there's a planned race war going on right now. Humans are not inherently racist. We are not born racist. That is ingrained into us. That is proper fucking ganda. And I'm fucking tired of it, because if
an interesting element to that whole false flag of the Charlottesville, Virginia event is there were a lot of legitimate white men who signed up to go there. They've got the permits for the park. it was going to be a peaceful event, and the South Korean, oh, my mistake, the Jewish mayor of Charlottesville and several other at the state level. I think the governor then was the Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton stooge. I can't think of his name, but anyway, they instead of keeping the Antifa, which outnumbered the nationalist protesters by about a 3-to-1 quantity, instead of the police keeping them separate, they created a funnel, a police personal funnel, and forced the white men to walk through this crowd of Antifa, and it gets better. The iconic photo of the fat woman supposedly getting hit by this car, and it was going so fast that a black dude is flying over the top. That was airbrushed in. It's easily provable that photo never occurred. In fact, she was morbidly obese and a heavy smoker, and she didn't die there. She died of a heart attack the next day. The event may have been caused some of the trauma that led to her heart attack. But
sorry, my audio and my microphone went out, and I didn't hear who you're talking about.
Heather Heyer, the fat woman,
the girl who was killed when the guy rear-ended her.
Right.
He backed up at full speed and then drove away.
Okay, I didn't know that was her name. I thought maybe you might have been talking about somebody else, so I wanted to get that clear. But I mean, the George Floyd shit's the same thing. Like how long was the knee on George Floyd's neck? Can anybody guess what's on the police report? It's on video. It's recorded, fully recorded on video and on the police report. Do you know how long? What did they chant? 8 minutes, 46 seconds. No. It was 7 minutes and 46 seconds.
But the court case said it was 9 minutes and 32 seconds.
Okay, so
yes.
Okay, so
there you go. 3 different times. You know what 8 minutes and 46 seconds equals? That equals 666.
Well, it may equal.
Well, here's an interesting thing about George Floyd and that technique that officer used is that since Obama, there's been this militarization of and training of metropolitan police forces, led by the Israeli government, where they'll pay for junkets to send over the police chief and the lieutenants over to train them on that type of non-lethal restraint. And so if that knee to the neck killed George Floyd, why aren't there thousands of people dead from knee on the neck? The point is it didn't kill him.
The point is that you're right. The dude on his back is the guy responsible for George Floyd dying, if in fact George Floyd died.
Do you think he actually died, and that was actually
really
George Floyd?
It doesn't. Yeah, it makes absolutely no difference because whether or not you believe it's a operation or you believe it actually happened, it makes absolutely no difference to the overall effect of it. You can just waste your time spinning your wheels about whether it's real or not. It doesn't make any difference. Absolutely none. Because the effect on the public is exactly the same. Just like 9/11, 3,000 people died. Well, how do you know 3,000 people died?
Yeah, I don't think anybody died.
Well, there you go. Maybe they didn't. I mean, there's no way to know, but there's really, unless you got everybody together who had a relative that died all in the same place at the same time to verify it, you really got no case. So
have you seen inside the buildings before they were destroyed?
There's probably
half
empty.
of that shit didn't even have floors. It was a tube.
Yeah, I wouldn't even doubt that. But it really, absolutely, like I say, it doesn't make any difference. If I make a movie that makes you think something happened, and I make something happen to have it happen, the effect is still the same.
What does make a difference is if you can get people to see the bullshit. If you can get them to snap out of it, then it does make a difference.
But when does the movie stop? That's the thing.
The movie does not ever stop. You just have to stop watching it.
Well, right, but you got them to stop looking at that thing over there. You got them to realize that was fake. But then when you realize that was fake, maybe you better look around yourself, and maybe you better take a look at what's around you. Maybe you better start looking at that and wondering if that's fake too.
Does that mean give up?
No, it doesn't, but it just means everything's open to interpretation. So it doesn't matter which story you want to believe. If everything's fake, you're just choosing a make-believe story to believe that you can't prove either. So
not everything is fake.
Well, everything is fake, man. Are you there? Have you gone to the moon? No. Well, it must be fake. Have you flown up in the sky to look down at the earth? No. Well, must be flat. Sure? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like that now. It's like that. If you haven't been there, you didn't see it yourself, it must be fake. And guess who started the whole fucking operation? That's right, Cass Sunstein. Do you remember Obama before the Flat Earth thing even took off? Do you remember Obama saying...
Talked about the Flat Earth Society, yes.
Remember that?
I do. And if you don't believe it, you must be a member of the Flat Earth Society.
Do you know the Flat Earth Society has gotten themselves into some colleges now, and they're having courses there?
Good for them.
And Flat Earthers, I myself wouldn't call myself a Flat Earther. I'm actually something else. I'm not a globe earther. I'm something other than a regular flat earther.
It's a tetragrammaton earth. That's what they believed in the 18th century, you know.
You know what I believe? I believe that this is all an operation. 100%. If it's not a LARP, it's a grift.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's it.
And listen, I want to tell you something. I'm going to play this here. There's about 3 or 4 years ago, MIT was working on an app to psychologically identify veterans that may be having emotional issues as a result of coming back from war. That was the reason for building this. But basically what this is a method of them having these 5 inputs of information about you at any given moment to determine your psychological makeup. So if they can do this with veterans coming home for PTSD, we can extrapolate on that. But let's play a little bit of this and see exactly what's all going on here. This isn't the piece I wanted. I wanted the guy that developed it, but I just thought of it here on the show, so I didn't have time to dig it up right away. So I'm hoping this is going to give us a little bit of an idea of what we can expect from this app. So here it is. My name's Jimmy. It's into the microcosm.
Although she's under a therapist's care, there are times when her symptoms are triggered when she's on her own. When that happens, she turns to her smartphone and clicks on an app.
And I'll be like sad or hopeless or worried and anxious, pick one of those categories, and then I just click on it and it gives me a tool to use to help get me out of that mood and get me raring to go.
So this is the...
Patricia is using the PTSD Coach app, jointly developed by the VA and the DoD.
When we spoke to veterans to ask them what they would like their phone to do for them, if their phone could help them with PTSD, they said, I want something that will help me in the moment when I'm in distress or have been triggered or I'm really struggling.
The PTSD.
So what they do is they see how much you interact socially on social media. They see if you go outside. They see if you make any phone calls. They see the kind of things that you say. And then this all gets calculated into determining where you are psychologically at any given moment. And they don't, on this thing that they're showing you here, it's clicking. It's you physically going, hey, I'm in trouble and I need an answer. But what I'm talking about, you don't click on anything. It just watches you all the time. So it sees if you're in a bad mood, man, it's going to throw you some, horrible puppy, accidents or whatever in your news feed. I'm just saying.
Sarah McLaughlin's could be singing in the background.
Yeah, it's Sarah McLaughlin video playing. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, do you get what I'm coming from on this, Danny? As far as most of what we see on the internet, because I mean, there's a couple of categories. I mean, Flat Earth is a category, Q is a category, It's the Jews is a category. I
don't know what to say.
No, I'm sorry. I have to go back to that one. I can totally hear Alex Trebek say that. It's the Jews for 500, Alex.
I know, but the thing is...
the generalization that all Jews are evil and it's only Jews doing shit. I mean, if you read the Bible, it's the Jews that call themselves Jews, or people that call themselves Jews, but they're not actually even Jews.
Right, but the point is
it tells you some shit. So, I mean, I don't want to be in that avenue either.
Well, I'm just saying the point isn't even that.
But I do want to finish my thought without being told to shut the fuck up.
No one's telling you to shut the fuck up. So go ahead and finish your thought. I thought you were finished.
No, I lost it. Go ahead.
Sorry. No. Actually, that was pretty interesting because that analogy. We're not being anti-Semitic in any way at all. It's funny because it is that same kind of analogy though. But like you say that it's this way, and it's not that way, right? Like because people have a predisposition to cordon off any kind of thing that goes against their belief system. This is kind of what they call it, confirmation bias, right? So and until we get by that, I don't know if society will ever succeed.
So
once that falls, we're done for.
What I was getting at is there's all these filter bubbles. It's flat, it's the Jews, it's this, it's that. Everybody's in their little group, the UFO groups. Even within all of these groups, what they've done is they've taken and they've put, even within those groups, there's micro groups that are against each other. Like within the Flat Earth group, there's 5 or 6 different groups in there that think certain things that the other groups don't, and they fight over it. Okay, same thing with the UFO groups. The UFOs think one guy thinks it's this way, one guy thinks it's that way. They're fighting in there. So not only are you put into a filter bubble, into an echo chamber with an agreement reality with a bunch of other people that think the same way you do, but then you're ultimately trapped in there because there's no way to get out. How do you get out? Because there's no...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I agree with that because, I am very involved in flat earth communities, but I often get called, you're not really a flat earther, because I will agree with globe earthers just as much as I agree with flat earthers. I don't know what the fuck it looks like. I've never been in a rocket ship in outer space, if it's even existing. I don't know. I've never been there. And at this point, okay, so it's like, we were talking about yesterday, or maybe I just was listening to one of the things that was playing. You didn't trust the government up to this point, and now you're all of a sudden going to trust them? It's like, I mean, come on. What can you believe? After all that, and I'm sure this is intentional too, I don't believe a goddamn thing unless I saw it and tested it with my own eyeballs, and even then, I might still not believe it. I don't know what it looks like, and that's redundant, because I think flat Earth, in its, it wouldn't be out there if it wasn't meant to be out there. It's a freaking distraction. It's to distract us from something else.
Well, that's
Who
what I'm
knows
saying.
what that is.
It's to herd you into the corral. Okay, then you're in a corral, and then what happens is now they got you in the corral, and they keep you over there arguing with each other about the details of something that absolutely is, maybe it's an issue, maybe it's a thing to talk about, maybe it's something that's interesting, but overall, what's happening is really great minds are being taken off the marketplace and sucked into a spinning spiral of bullshit. Round and round they go. Meanwhile, okay, back at the ranch, all the things that we don't want to have happen are all happening because all these smart people are siphoned off into these small groups and kept busy with each other, arguing over facts that mean nothing.
You're right, because that happened to me.
We got a caller. 46.
It's called aggregation. Yeah, aggregation. Absolutely.
469. Welcome to Into the Microcosm. What do you got to say?
Hey, how are y'all doing tonight?
Hey, we're doing great. Who are you and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Michael from San Antonio.
Hey, Michael. Good to have you, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Hi.
Hey, no problem. Hi.
Hey, don't forget to say don't forget to say happy birthday to Danny.
Happy birthday, Danny.
Hey, it's 3:11 a.m. What does that mean? Happy birthday.
It's not 3:22. It's not 3:22.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Is anybody familiar with Santos Bonacci at all? They call him Mr. Synchronicity. He's really good. He's really good at esoteric. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have watched his stuff on Flat Earth, but he's consulted with physicists and stuff that are open to different ideas. And one of the points that he makes, which I thought was really interesting, I started out as a physics major in college, but ended up being a film major. But so I'm no physics genius, but I have some basic knowledge. But he was basically saying, like, if you went to the North Pole or Antarctica and you set up a camera, if what conventional science says is true about the speed at which the Earth rotates and is moving through space, and people think, oh, it moves in a perfect orbit. No, it doesn't move in like a perfect circle. It's right. Very jerky. And his point was, like, if you set a camera, time lapsed it for many hours, if what they say is true, then you should see the sky kind of going like batshit. I'm sorry, I can't curse on the air, can I?
Yes,
you can hear. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
The footage will be like batshit crazy with the stars' positions and the way the view that you have of what's going on should be different because they actually have done that before. You don't get that crazy kind of footage that you should if what they say is true.
I have personal experience. So let me interject.
Yeah, so Epic
I
Journeyman.
was there. I've been in North
put an
I've
end to
actually
this.
been there. I mean, the actual geographic North Pole. I have been there. I've been on the ice. Okay, so what I can tell you is that when you're there, it's actually the springtime we consider here in North America, but it's a 24-hour sun there. And what happens is that the sun never sets. It's the line of the midnight sun, right? But what happens is the sun actually goes in a circle around you at the same angle the entire time. In other words, it never sets. So you look at the sun, let's say it's 30 degrees above you, and it just goes around at that angle the entire time. It changes like north, south, east, west, but it doesn't rise or fall. There's a certain spot where it dips slightly, and that spot is south, right? And so if you're ever trapped up there and you're trying to find your way back, this is what they told us if we got stranded in the ice with my submarine. if we were on an expedition, you had to find our way back to Canada or something, right? We got to follow that dip, We're going to follow that dip and try to ward off the polar bears and everything else, right? We're going to just walk our way back there, Like that's really going to happen. Of course, it's not going to happen. We're going to die long before we get there. So it's 2,000 miles, or 1,200 miles, whatever it is. It depends how you look at it. I guess about 1,200 miles probably before you get to like a civilization, really. But still, the idea is you're going to get there, if you just do that. But I saw it. I saw it firsthand. So I know that's exactly the way it's predicted it would be. So in other words, in the globe model of the Earth, what would happen would be that in the wintertime, the Earth is, it's always got this tilt, right? It's got this tilt. And so in the northern hemisphere, that tilt just happens to be away from the sun at that particular point, right? And so what happens is the sun doesn't set, it never rises or sets. It's just low on the horizon. And it stays there until it starts correcting itself in the next pass as it travels through time and space, and eventually kind of settles on to the back in the center, which is spring, and then it goes to summer. Then the summer here is the winter down in the Antarctic, because what happens is the exact opposite. Now it's the same thing. Now that same thing is pointed away, and it has the same effect. So because I've seen that, I don't doubt that's true. I mean, like we had to navigate there. We have three ways of navigating on a submarine. One is what's called there's three. There's more. I have to correct myself because I want to make sure I don't say anything classified. So one of the things is called it's called SINS, Ship's Inertial Navigation System, and these are basically gyros. They're calibrated, and they tilt depending on the Earth's calculated circumference, essentially. And as you move, it plots your trajectory. And the other thing they have is what's called dead reckoning. So you know what your last fixed point was, and you're going this much speed, or it's called dead reckoning actually. And this is old time navigation skills. And I'm going this particular course and in this particular time, and I should be here on the map, and it works, right? And it wouldn't work if it wasn't true. And another thing they have is called bottom contour navigating, which is where you use the fixes that were given by previous submariners, basically, because the ice pack was so thick that you couldn't send the icebreaker through to do these same kind of navigation points, where you know the depth of the ocean at a particular point. So as you pass upon these points, whether it be a sea pinnacle or a valley or whatever it is, the sonar lets you know the depth of that particular point. It should be matching up in your charts, and you can verify it that way. And so these three methods of navigation that are at play here. If the Earth was not round, it wouldn't work. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's convincing enough for me to say, well, it is round. I mean, that in a lunar eclipse. In a lunar eclipse, like to me, lunar eclipse, you can see the disc shape coming across the moon. So if it wasn't for that, I'd say, well, I have doubts maybe. Right.
Well, how do you explain when the sun has already risen and the moon is also visible, but the moon still is becoming eclipsed when you can see both of them?
Have you ever seen where there's like two suns in the sky?
No, I haven't, but I do have
a
video, a music video. what's that techno guy? He's all young and handsome. He's got the glasses.
Well, that'd be me. No, but who else?
Is that you?
Just kidding.
Oh, damn it.
That's Jimmy Jean. No.
Right.
It is Jimmy Jean because he's only 23.
Right.
But yes, Santos Bonacci is awesome to me because I love Walter Russell, and so we both. He's like on it. And,
absolutely. Yeah. Totally on it. Yeah. But just real quick, just so the listener know. So conventional science says that the Earth is rotating at 40,075 kilometers, which is 460 meters per second, which is roughly 1,000 miles an hour.
At the end.
It's moving. It's orbiting the sun at a speed of 30 kilometers per second, or about roughly 67,000 miles per hour.
See, this goes. You guys are illustrating my point. My point could not be illustrated any better. I mean, I wish I could have wrote. I couldn't have wrote a script to make this turn out like this. Seriously, because I told you.
Remind me what your point was.
Well, my point was about an hour ago. I said that these arguments that are put forward about this, they're meant to put people in a position of sitting here talking about what we're talking about right now.
Yeah. And Epic's explanation of why he felt it was a globe was perfectly good and valid. But his original thought was the elliptical orbit, and he didn't get to that.
Well, you're missing the point, though, and that every time we've jumped in on one of these particular subjects, the subject itself wasn't the point. The point was that each one of these subjects is a folder, okay, and people are filtered into
it's like a manipulation, right?
People
like
are filtered into who cares what
right?
I don't care what the conversation's about. It could be about flat Earth, like I said. It could be about UFOs. I don't care what your subject is. Just like I don't care if it's real or if it's fake. The only thing that matters to me is pointing out to you how you're socially manipulated. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Does it matter to you? How many hours have you spent looking to see how flat the Earth is? If you spent those same amount of hours doing something else that had some actual physical representation in the world about these issues that everybody's so concerned about. But
like what?
Like being a
whatever.
Like I've been doing this research for 25 years, and I've come to the conclusion the only thing that we can do to combat it is to be open vessels of love and understanding and light and truth and caring and compassion, the opposite of what these motherfuckers, the cabal, the opposite of what they are. They have no compassion. They're psychopaths. They follow the dark triad.
Even when
Machiavellianism and psychopathy.
Narcissism is so rampant, isn't it?
Even when
psychopathy, people don't realize they're fucking psychopaths that are ruling our world, and a lot of people don't know. But the humans, at least, I think there's other entities if you go even deeper, but the humans, at least, that are running shit are in Switzerland at the Bank of International Settlements. There's about 1,600 people that work there. They move massive amounts of hard currency, gold, platinum, silver, and just make money hand over fist by the minute. And they also somehow legally pilfer the gross 5% of the gross domestic product of every country on Earth. And not only that, they have they're like their own entity, like the Swiss government, the police. They have their own army or police, the Bank of International Settlements, and the Swiss government, police. Nobody is allowed to come onto their property without their express permission. So they basically have more power than the Swiss government where they're located.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Knights of Malta. The Knights of Malta, are a secret society. They don't own a stitch of land, yet they have a seat on the UN, and everywhere they go, they set their feet is considered, they have diplomatic immunity.
It's like the World Health Organization, unelected officials.
Yeah, the WHO.
As soon as you find a place where like-minded people can gather, where we found a place of peace amongst ourselves, where we could talk about things amongst ourselves and have discussions, that's immediately when that situation is inflamed and these micro groups show up, and there's there's arguments within the group that start. It's never a situation until you're basically put in a situation where you can hardly join groups, and then eventually you're put into this box where you're alone and by yourself. And yeah, you brought up narcissism. You're 100% correct on narcissism. That is a big problem. But the thing is it anybody's actual problem, or are people trained to be narcissists? I mean, the narcissistic society that we see is an exact and ultimate result of behavior modification complex, because everybody's been boxed into the being by themselves.
Yeah, the selfie generation.
Yeah. I was talking to Clyde one night on the after show, and we were talking about the transhuman agenda, and I said, Clyde, I just had a thought, and he agreed, and I was like, regardless of how far they've come with the physical aspect of transhumanism, they've already successfully transhumanized us spiritually. I mean, a lot of the population, not us, not the people that are awake, but the people that aren't awake, they've already transhumanized them mentally and spiritually. They don't give a shit about anything except their phone, their computer, video games. They don't pay attention to their neighbor or the people on the street, or, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, there's just, there's nothing but division. There's nothing but, constant micro division of everything that goes on. Anytime there's a group that forms up, it's immediately infiltrated and divided, because you can't have a group of like-minded people or a block of people moving in a direction that's political. And
you don't want to have people that are too like-minded, though, because then you're not teaching each other anything.
Well, you don't want to.
Well, what he's saying is true, though. That's their biggest. The people that are running this shit, that is their biggest fucking fear, because we outnumber them so dramatically that if people did start coming together that are awake, that's their biggest fear. I mean, they fucking be taken care of in a matter of weeks.
That's the shit.
For months. If that actually happened, and that's what they're afraid of.
And
does this show in itself have its own filter bubble?
Maybe it does. Who knows?
I mean, we all do.
Like I say,
really.
if you notice there's a filter bubble, then you better look around yourself. Just like when I noticed when I noticed there was a LARP, then I had to look.
Feedback loops, right?
I think it's really good if that we can have differing opinions, because then we can compare our thoughts, and that's where learning happens. If everybody thought the same shit, then you're just falling for whatever given narrative is in your filter
like
bubble.
It becomes like a cult or something, almost ish.
Like
if everyone just believes all the same things, and
Yeah, that's why I get heckled so much.
If people could get
because I will defend the people I'm opposed to if I think they're right, because I'm not gonna lie. Shit.
Right.
I just learned something. That's epic.
Well,
that's amazing.
Right, and that's what they, being the cabal, that's what they do. They're so narcissistic. There's nothing that's going to turn them from their belief system.
They don't want us to do that.
As fucked up as it is.
They want us to be in a filter bubble.
Exactly.
But it's a little more nefarious than that. I mean, nefarious. Pardon me. What it really is that they have an output from all the I hate to say it, but AI-driven analysis done, right? So they know that the statistics show that this is the outcome, right? The outcome is this after hundreds of years of analysis, whether it be with an abacus or whether it be with the workings of John Dee and mysticism or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. After all these years, and with quantum computers now, they know that the outcome is going to be this, most likely. The probabilities are in their favor. The probabilities in their favor is going to be this. Okay.
Does that mean we shouldn't talk about anything, though?
No,
we should just talk
not
about
motherfuckers
that talk about stuff because they're stupid for talking about it.
Not at all.
No,
but what I'm saying
they're
is,
a lot smarter than we are, unfortunately.
We got another caller, so stand by.
Well, let me get the point of what I was saying before we go on. Is it the point I'm saying is that because of that, they believe that, right? It doesn't matter if it's true or not, but they believe it. So that they're going to go with that. They're going to run with that. And it's very computerized and very hard line about the fact that this is the outcome. But is it true? It's not true. Of course it's not. And one of the great things about flat earthers, and I'll give them some props here, is that at least they question everything, right? This is still are one of the few groups of people who question everything.
Everything.
So
that goes back to what I was saying before, which was nothing's real. You're picking which storyline you want to believe or what narrative, which script line you want to believe. Nothing's real is what I was saying earlier. You all have said it more than once in this conversation in the last half hour. You've all said, "Well, I haven't been there. I didn't go there. I haven't, I haven't do this. I don't have a microscope where I can look and see if there's a virus that exists." These types of things. Yeah, man, I don't either. So, your story sounds good, and it seems like you got some things that back it up. So, it's unbelievable to me. So then you just get a few people to believe in that, and that's called an agreement reality. You all agree that's how it is. Okay?
Isn't that in itself an anti-storyline?
Could be. Everything's a storyline. Everything's just like I said earlier. When I noticed that this whole alternative media started looking like a LARP to me, when I noticed that,
totally, like 80% of people in alternative
when
media,
I had to
they're
look.
just like,
that's when I looked at myself and said, "Wait a minute, is this a LARP? And am I in the LARP? And wait a minute, am I contributing to the LARP? Here I am. I'm doing shows. I'm feeding right into the storylines that are out there. So, man, I'm part of the LARP too, right? Aren't you all?
Well, and I believe there is a reality, but we just don't see it. We don't see the true reality because they've hidden it so much. They started, even back in Babylon. What is the first thing they did when they stormed Alexandria? The Library of Alexandria. They destroyed, or I believe that's probably in the basement of the Vatican, all of it. But I mean, all the esoteric knowledge and all the truth they've fucking been hiding for thousands of years, purposefully. So, they could lead us up to this precipice that we seem to be on now, which is unfortunately like a type of apocalyptic kind of scenario I'm feeling.
Hey, Michael, we got another caller here on the line, 214.
Do I need to get off the line?
No, you don't need to get off the line, but just stand by.
Oh, okay.
214, who are you and where are you calling from?
This is Brent Howell. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Hey, Brent, how you doing?
And, hey, man. Hey,
that's where I'm from.
Shout out to Epic Man and to Danny and to
say happy,
Rio and to yourself and
say happy
all the great people on the line. Go ahead.
Say happy birthday to Danny.
And happy birthday to Danny.
There you
I
go.
get in the chats.
Okay, now you can. Now you can come in.
Can we sing her happy birthday?
You go ahead.
Well, no, let's not do that just yet. I'm on the phone. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's all right. Okay.
All right, Michael, go ahead. Stay over there and be quiet.
One word summarizes the last few minutes, and that's anti-disestablishmentarianism. And I have, for all the flat earthers out there, they should have called it sea level, if anything. But I have the poor man's experiment. So you can get your own knowledge from your own body, from your own eyes. You find a long coast, like in California or in Florida or whatever, even along the East Coast or whatever, wherever you are in the world, find a nice long coast, and you go out down to sea level and stand in the sand, and you hopefully can catch a ship maybe going out to sea, okay, away from you if you're near a port or something of that nature. But you turn directly right, and you look all the way down the coast, directly looking right, and out of the peripheral of your eye, you'll see that the entire sea is level, and, with some waves or something like that, but it's basically level all the way down directly to your right. You look to your left, and you see the same thing. You look to your left, and out of the peripheral, you should see that the entire sea is level. And then you turn directly towards the sea, and you notice the ship is disappearing. Okay, well, you just saw twice as far, and it was level, but the ship is disappearing.
Why
That's
is
it.
I think it's
because it's perspective, and your eyes can only see so far. But hey, you looked twice as far, and you knew it was level, but the ship.
That's called angular resolution.
Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you
call
something.
Whatever you want to call it, but it's your eyes can only see so far.
Yeah. It doesn't prove flat or globe.
Hey, 5 years ago.
It proves the sea is level.
Hey,
twice as far as the ship went out. Okay, bye.
5 years ago.
Giuseppe Rio, come on now.
Listen.
You guys got to have a lot to say
Listen,
after all that.
5 years ago, I told my friend at Iron Realm Media, no one at this point in the flat earth had anything to do with what I'm telling you. So I told him, I said, hey, dude, if you want to look at the earth and check it out and see if it's flat, why don't you go over to a website called Gigapixel and take a look at a gigapixel camera at some direction that you want to take a look at, because there's a camera that you can see anything you want to look at and find out about it. And then immediately after that, some dudes picked up on it and they showed a bridge somewhere in the south with a gigapixel camera. And then this whole a gigapixel camera thing started to come into the discussion. But still, it's just a fact that doesn't mean anything. I mean, nothing's gotten done is what I keep trying to say. That
Jimmy, you just fell into the trap.
Did I? How did I fall into the trap?
You just fell into the trap, man.
How did I fall?
I fell through the ice, man.
You just argued the point, dude.
Excuse me?
You were arguing the point, man.
Which point?
Any point.
It does exactly. I'll argue any point. You've hit the nail exactly right on the head. I can argue any point. So, which point am I actually arguing for? I'm arguing for the point that what we're trying to point out is that Cass Sunstein created all of these filter bubbles for all of you to enjoy yourselves in. It's a playground. Everybody's in it. Live it and have it be real for you in any way you need it to be for you to exist in a world that, the reality is created for you.
So ultimately, what should we take away from this? That we should not ever talk about anything?
Well, behavioral steering. No, he exemplified the idea of steering people into these agreement realities, right? The idea that so we can't control everybody, but we can make them go a certain way, and once we get in that certain way, we have the playground, the sandbox for the playing, just like a level in a video game.
Well, yeah, if we're a piece of shit and we think our opinion is ultimate. But we're not like that.
Yeah, well, no, we probably are actually, unfortunately, because I don't mean we, the people here today. I mean in general, like the the average person is that susceptible. They just want something that they agree with right away and say that's okay, and they run with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
you're talking like Cass Sunstein, Epic. That's what he said.
Sorry. Next thing you know, I'm going to be on Fox News. I'm going to be on CNN. And, oh man, damn it!
The communist news network.
Yeah, so that's another way of looking at this. That's another way of looking.
All the theories I read, like I keep them in my mind, thinking. Eventually, one day, I'll probably find the truth. Probably after I leave this plane, we'll figure out the truth. So I keep everything like in a Rolodex. Like you were talking about files, Jimmy. Like I keep files in my mind of all the different theories, thinking, okay, well, any one of them could be real. If hopefully I find out one day. Like after, like I said, I passed through this 3D plane. Anyways.
Well, so what Danny just brought up a moment ago about the different news networks is exactly the same thing that I'm talking about, but it's represented in a different way. So what I said was I was offering up different topics that are available to the alternative media consumer. Okay, so if you're not an alternative media consumer, the same filter bubbles exist for you on those 3 networks over there. You can go over there and you can go to Fox News Network, and it's the same thing as Flat Earth. And then CNN is like UFOs. And MSNBC is like something else. So it's just, all it is just listen. You've been surfing the internet. The system knows what you're going to do, where you belong. You've been scraped. You've been put in a box. You've been fed shit.
Yep.
Okay? It doesn't matter. I don't care what your point is or what your argument is. It makes no difference to me, man. I'm not a shapist. I don't give a shit. Okay, I got to pay my rent. Okay, I got to buy groceries. Okay, and you know what? All of these great minds, these high IQ people that I know personally that are flat, okay, all the high IQ people I know that are conservative gun owners, all these people that have the same political mindset about being free are all caught in a web of fucking distraction and fucking disinformation. No, I don't think we
Absolutely.
shouldn't have conversations. Of course we should. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm not saying there shouldn't be arguments against what a point. That's how we come to conclusions. We ask questions, Danny. It's not what I'm
That's
saying.
the best part about flat earthers, though. They know politics is bullshit. They're all in the same clubhouse.
It's the best part about everybody in the alternative media, and that's exactly why they're all caught up in these file systems where they're strung out in filter bubbles and echo chambers and mockingbird bullshit. That's what's different about what we're talking about. We're trying to show it as it is. We're not trying to play games, man. I'm here showing it. We're talking about it. We're being honest about it. We're expressing our feelings about it right now. And like I keep saying, does it matter to me if it's real or fake? I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the things that make it look fake. Sure, why not? But does it ultimately matter to me? No, because the psychological operation is the thing that matters to me. And that is what happens when these operations are run and the social engineering affects the civilization and society that we live in.
Boom! And reality
Yeah.
is subjective,
Yeah.
and there is no spoon.
That's right. And
There is no spoon.
And in postmodernist deconstruction, the truth is relative. And reality is hyper-reality, where it's a combination of the internet and real life. And most people will dissolve into the internet because that's the place where they belong, because they're in a group of like-minded people. They can sing to the choir and everybody say this sounds just fine. It sounds great. You're a great singer.
Well, when nobody else is listening, maybe. I'll make your ears bleed, damn it.
So there you go. It's in the microcosm. It's what time is it? We got about 20 minutes left. 626-999-4761. 626-999-4761. So go ahead. Is Rio still here? Because I know he worked.
No, Rio and
he worked today.
Come on, man, Giuseppe, you guys got to get in here. Man.
I know, but Rio worked today, and Giuseppe's on the East Coast too. Danny's on the
I'm
East
here.
Coast.
I've been listening.
Yeah. So did you want to jump in on some of this chunk that's been out there? Because I know you've been staying quiet over there for a bit.
Well, it's just a fascinating discussion. I mean, you can look back to the archetypical story of
the
when the actually I think that's the wrong word I used, but the point is this: when the Columbus's ships were coming to Central America, the entire tribe went to the beach and the shore and was looking out, and no one could see the ships because it was beyond their comprehension until the medicine man was able to see it, and he told them what he saw, and suddenly everyone else could see it, right? So that's been going on forever. The level of what you believe to be your reality is what you will see. And so, I mean, I think people like Cass Sunstein, who's just a real a traitorous operative to what we value as the freedoms we do or do not have, but we'd like to think we have in the United States, is people like him are master gaslighters, right? They haughtily perch on this intellectual verisimilitude, and what they're really doing is steering the great herd on the beach towards seeing a reality a certain way. Now, I mean, I think it's cool in a free society to be able to talk about anything, but what's the point of flat Earth? Just like, what's the point of a lot of these things that just seem to waste time? And I would much rather see people wake up to the fact of, look at, why is your loaf of bread going from 80 cents to $4.80? And
Exactly.
why are your friends and family members convinced to take an injection, which is possibly the greatest crimes against humanity experiment ever conducted in the modern times? And there's all these things that we should be talking about, but no, we suddenly oh well, there's 70 genders and the Earth is flat. I mean, it's fascinating stuff, but it's not your eye is not on the ball at this point when your very way of life is being threatened.
Yeah, exactly. It used to just be, it was gay and lesbian issues. And like I'm saying, here's another example. I'll point it out again. Here's another one. There was a filter bubble there, a gay and lesbian, and now it's divided up into 9 or 10 different groups of people. None of them are on the same page about what they want. They all argue amongst themselves and never look and say what's best for all of us in the situation where we seem to be like-minded. They argue against each other. Same thing.
Jimmy, that's an excellent point. And think about it. Societies and countries that have developed into empires basically have a coherent worldview, right? And so what you're seeing with the decline and the soon-to-be demise of the American empire is this hyper-fractionalization of people's narcissistic opinions that do not allow any consistent thought whatsoever, any cooperation towards the greater good. And that's the insidious, that's the master plan right there for the transnational corporations, the international banking cabal. That's what they want. They don't want any threat from a unified Germany, a unified United States, a unified Canada. They want everybody to be, I think I'm gender number 41 today. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah. Gender 41, yo.
No.
You know what? You know what, though? I mean, here's the thing, though. America will be number one. You know why? Because we're going to make that technology come out first, and everybody is going to be in hyper reality, and everybody is going to be linked up to that. And what's going to happen is it's going to optimize our output in a way that the nations that are outside of it cannot compete with. And as wrong as that is,
if we don't become a third world country overnight because
how can you believe that, Epic? That's crazy. Look at South Korea, various Asian countries have already implemented all that technology.
Once Apple launches that, Apple's going to launch it. I'm telling you.
You are making that free land in Russia look better and better, Epic.
The only reason that we haven't become a third world country overnight already is because the Fed fucking has a free license to print as much worthless paper currency as they
can. Paper money means nothing, dude. It means nothing. It means nothing because what's going to happen is
it goes beyond
it's all digital currencies about energy. It's technocracy, the idea of energy output, energy input, and that becomes a currency, right? And that's already set up. It's already set up, and it's already the infrastructure is already here in the United States. That's why I'm saying this.
It's already on paper.
Yeah, well, no, but I'm saying once it's adopted, it doesn't matter about people like you and I and everybody else in this channel we're talking to. We're not going to do it. I at least like to think so. But what's going to happen is once Apple launches that next year for $3,000, they'll make it free because they want everybody to have it. Just like that Alexa's in your TV for $300. It was $4,000 2 years ago. At Costco. Well, once that, it's just a backbone architecture. Once everybody has an AR linked to their head, their brain, the access right there. Right where I know what you did in high school. I see you in the coffee bar, you at Starbucks, and I forgot what your name was, but no matter. It's going to tell me who you are. Hey, Danny, hey, remember we were in high school back in 19 whatever. And hey, it was cool in Mr. What's-His-Face classes. And all these things will be right there at your fingertips. And the only reason you won't know better, the only reason you'll know less is because you've been degraded by your social karma score to know less because you're on a lesser tier of the internet. It's not the internet anymore.
My bank account has been giving me a social credit score for like 2 years. It has like that dial from red to green.
Yeah, right.
Based on where I use my card. It's aspiration.
Jimmy, one thing, all you guys that really broke me up is you played that ominous narrator talking from that Frontline special on PBS about Alex Jones, Sandy Hook. And yet everything they quoted Alex Jones saying actually turned out to be true. I mean, Fauci funded the gain-of-function weaponry out of China. Everything he said was true, and they're mocking him like it's not. That's pretty hilarious.
You guys, the Umbrella Corporation logo, is that legit, like the Wuhan Labs shit?
I don't know about that, but the Wuhan lab is exactly 2 blocks from that wet market where the Wuhan virus, the virus broke out. It is.
I mean, I can't find definitive
we pointed out like
paperwork
the week
on
it happened
that.
too. Right here, TFR pointed out. We pointed out all over the place.
I'll tell you what.
People jump to guns and they say that he worked at Wuhan for the HIV development, and there was never a vaccine. And that the test for HIV works the same. If if you have any sort of like, DNA cellular damaging illness in that area, you can test false positive. And so they never, people didn't buy it. And well, because, like the social, we were still under the influence of the, like the Reagan era, but now, times are different. But I mean, the tests, gosh,
You can
there's
go
so
back.
much.
You can go back and look at the shows we did when this fucking shit started, and you can look at all the stuff we talked about that lab and everything that happened. And you can see what we said in the beginning is exactly what has ended up coming out to be the fact of the matter now. And the only way,
true, man. It is.
I believe you. I just
the
want
only-
to know that
the
it's
only way-
true. I don't want to just tell people that. Right?
Yeah, no, but I mean, we got
what is the
taken. I got
symbol?
taken in by. I got taken in on that whole operation. I got taken in by the by some of the videos that were coming out of China, because the way they made it seem like you couldn't get these videos. Like the videos were, you couldn't find them anywhere. The only way you could find them, is if you typed it in Chinese. So my buddy was, right. So my
You're
buddy,
so right.
yeah. So my buddy's like typing it in and doing searches, and he's coming back with these videos, and these dudes are like blah, 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 doing the Wuhan shuffle, dropping to the ground, blood's fucking spewing out of their mouth. You know what I mean? They're welding people into their apartment complexes and burning it, and they're going, look at the carbon, look at the carbon from the sky, look at the carbon. It's all from the incinerators where they're burning all these bodies and shit. Meanwhile, that whole thing was an operation, man.
Right after the
look
Smith-Mundt
at
Act
what the
wasn't
symbol-
reenacted.
Look at what the symbol is for the entire healthcare system. What is the symbol? It's the caduceus, and the caduceus is symbolic of destroying the female, everything having to do with the female, the nurture, the love, everything that comes from the female side. That's what the caduceus stands for, is the destruction of it.
Well,
maybe.
And that's the healthcare.
That is a
main
perception.
symbol.
That's
the
a
symbol all over the world.
That's not true.
That's a perception of the symbol, but I mean, if you look at it realistically, it is a DNA strand. And there's a lot more to it than just what you're explaining there. That is a perception, though. Go ahead, Danny. You know
every
more about
symbol
this.
has multiple layers.
And it's an ancient symbol.
Yeah, that would be like sort of a currently represented evangelical Christian, idea of the symbol. And if you go on YouTube, especially.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It was actually based, in fact, that's what that came from ancient Rome, and that symbol. That's what it was associated. I can't remember the god it was associated with. It was
Hermes.
associated with a specific. Yeah, Hermes. The caduceus.
Yeah,
sure?
he has yes.
Okay, but
Mercury.
it did
Mercury and
symbolize
Hermes. It's the same one.
Yeah, and it did just symbolize for them. It did symbolize the destruction of the female side of things.
What it actually represents to me, and I after all of the study I've done of symbolism over the last, probably 4 years, and that's what I've really engulfed my mind in. Like, yes, I did get sucked into flat earth, and I still am not sure what it is. But at this point, that has such a way back burner for me. I still love my people in the flat earth community.
Yeah, and why not? And why not? And if you're in the Q community, why not love each other? The shit you learn there is not wrong. It's not wrong to learn stuff. It's not wrong to be in one of these filter bubbles. It's not wrong.
Absolutely.
None of it's wrong. There's no judgment about it, man. Asking questions is how we got here, right?
Exactly. And if we can have that attitude, then we can figure some shit out, or at least for ourselves, at least subjectively, and at least feel comfortable going to bed at night and not laying there worrying like I do sometimes. Last night I was all triggered about stuff, and I was, I'm going to bed now.
Well, listen,
right.
Screw you guys, I'm going home. But no, seriously, to me, I've realized that each symbol has so many, it's like basements and sub-basements. You have like when you go to church, for the Catholic Church, like they're going to read you the Bible in, maybe not as much currently, but they're going to read it to you in Latin. They're not going to tell you what it means. You're just going to nod your head and repeat some stuff, and they're going to tell you the interpretation. And the current mega churches that do the prosperity gospel, I was actually 2017 I will say I was baptized in 2017 at one of those churches, and if I could take it back, I sure would. But anyway.
Yeah, same. I grew up in Pentecostal, horrible.
I was raised Pentecostal.
Churches. Yeah, and it was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, yeah, like that's a whole nother like decade of shows.
Yeah.
But yes, symbols are represented to people in such a way that you are thinking it's one thing and you don't want to look at it because you think it's evil or bad because it's represented to you by people that are doing evil or bad things to, in your opinion. And so you just want to turn around. You don't even want to look at it. You like, oh, that's terrible. I don't want to understand that. And that's what's going on with that symbol and all symbols. And that one to me, and I realize that there's probably multiple, sub-basements of understanding. It's a Kundalini rising situation for me. It's like raising the jet.
Yeah. Well,
that's how I see it.
The Kundalini genie.
The thing about
but Kundalini's not a demon.
The thing about the logos is not.
I used to think that.
Kundalini's not a demon. That's awesome. I've never heard that.
The thing about the logos, it has to do with the geometry of it and the striking of a tonal that happens energetically. So however you define whatever it is and whatever error you say it came from or all that, that's all, microscopic detail. But the overall grotesque or mundane aspect of it is that the blatant aspect of it is that all logos that we are aware of all have a resonant frequency. They all have a geometric purpose. And when they're displayed, that frequency or energy is directed towards you. And that energy, when it hits you,
archetypes have energy.
So we got I think we got about 5 minutes left, you guys. So if you guys got final words, jump in and let's take it
Jordan, out. I bet Danny, you've probably been into Jordan Maxwell, I'd imagine. With the symbology. Yeah?
No.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's good. No?
Yeah.
All right, so Giuseppe Vaffangulo, you got some final words? We got about 3 minutes left here.
I do. I think we need to take a look at Cass Weinstein's association with Jeffrey Epstein, a couple of fine South Koreans. And I think that the dude is evil. I think he works for a small, I think it was the gentleman who is been with on the call last hour pointed out that there's a real small cadre of very evil people who control the world. And I think Jeffrey, his wife Samantha, Cass Sunstein, they all are on the team, and they're playing in the game, and it's a game that needs exposure, and that's what's wonderful, that we have these discussions. And everything should be discussed. That's good. My one concern is once you become certainty of being a flat earther, certainty of gender number 53, you kind of cop an attitude and think everybody else is dumb then, which it should always be discussed and debated, not like you're stupid, you're only gender number 24.
Yeah, that's why it's bad to call people sheeple, man. Because the minute you notice there's a sheeple, it's like I was saying earlier, the minute you notice there's a LARP, the minute you think you're awake, you better realize there's somebody looking at you going, look how asleep that person is. You call somebody a sheep, somebody's looking at you calling you a sheep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are you still calling your children kids?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. All right, time's up. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate it. Sitting in my cousin. My name's Jimmy. There's Danny. There's Giuseppe Vaffangulo, the caller. Michael, he's gone. Thanks for calling, Michael. We appreciate your input. Appreciate everybody in the chat room. You want to shout out the chat room real quick, Danny, while I queue up the specials on the way out?
Which one?
The main one over there, the big one over there, and I'll get these guys over here.
Okay. If you promise you'll get those guys.
I'll get these guys, yeah. You want me to get them now? Let's see, he's over here. One Crazy. Ray's over here. Aaron's over here. What's up, Droney? Mr. Jones is over here. Let me see who else. Those guys are flooding the chat. Alex is over there. Robin, Spike's over there. There's like 30 some odd Zoe's over there. 30 some odd people over there. That looks like about it. Go ahead, Danny. We don't have much time. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have Ace, we have Andy, we have Beach, Blue Eyes, Chadrick, Chris, DB, D. Martin, Dr. Fate, Freedom, Giuseppe, Haterazzi, Ice Cream Man, Jeremiah, Jew, Jimmy Jean, John, F-150, JTFU, Care Bear, Lou, Massacre Moody, Menace Man, Michael 13, Mike Montavon, Mike 7171, Milk Toast, Racer, Rick Rocks, Rio, Robofish, Sweeney T. Bowd, Teresa Dunn, Dusney, Tim, me, and Will Call Magic, and Rowdy, so damn rowdy.
Well, time's up. Tomorrow night, dance party. Bring your mask and wear black. Friday night, black dance party. Come on down. Thank you so much. God willing, we'll be here tomorrow. 36 people in the chat room over at Revolution Radio. I've been saying that for 2 years over at
37 now. That's my favorite number.
In YouTube. Sorry about that. It's not Revolution Radio. It's Aftermath.fm.
It's
my name's oh my God. My name's Jimmy. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
All the clubs are being closed down. This place is coming like a ghost town. Bands won't play no more. Too much fighting on the dance floor.
Okay, we're clear from the network. I was just saying goodbye over there. So you guys still here? We're on YouTube, so I don't know if anybody's still here or not.
Yep.
So
That was
I'm
fun.
here, but I'm gonna head out, man. I'm tired.
okay, bro. Peace, man. I'll give you a call.
Yeah, that was a cool show, man. You guys, I gotta compliment all of you. You're big brains, and you're willing to talk about anything. It's really good. Thanks for including me.
Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate
Thanks so much for being here, man.
Yeah,
Seriously.
man.
I mean,
I know, right?
yeah, absolutely. And I wish you'd contribute as much as you want to. I mean,
Yeah, he does.
absolutely.
He
It's a great
is.
thing when you
He
do.
will. You didn't. He wasn't not contributing. Obviously, I mean, if he wanted to, he would have jumped in. Because
It was just so
Giuseppe-
interesting to listen
I know.
to the
That's
discussion.
yeah. I know. The same thing happens to me too when we're doing shows. It's like a lot of times I'm listening and I get caught up in listening and I forget I'm even doing a show. You know what I mean? So, but the conversation was great. So, thank you so much, Giuseppe, man. Thank you very much. I'll give you a call tomorrow, bro. And talk.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I,
Sounds good.
I really like your perspective.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. He's fucking great, man. And he's the thing about Giuseppe too, man, is he's not speaking, off the cuff or whatever. He's always backed up with the research, and he's always, he's involved in deep intellectual conversations on the same level as we are on this show, on his own show with other people that we don't talk to.
I've been listening lately.
Yeah.
I've listened to a couple.
Yeah, he's
over the last week.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
Yeah, he's got.
Well, it's a journalist view, right?
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
that's the thing.
That's
there's a certain professionalism involved with that.
And I noticed him right away. I mean, I noticed him right away when he came. He just came online. He all of a sudden appeared and he was making calls. So I noticed Giuseppe right away before he even was doing shows. So Giuseppe is a badass, and that's definitely why he's here on Thursday nights. And hopefully you'll continue to show up on Thursday nights, Giuseppe.
Oh yeah, no, it's an honor to be part of it. I mean, this whole Aftermath thing and what you got building is really cool. And,
I know. I meant to get Scorpio. I didn't know if I was, he was gonna come on with us, and then he had a storm in Ecuador, and he fucking couldn't come on, and then. So I was rebooking him, and I couldn't remember if it was today or not. It was too late to check with him because I know there's a time difference and all that. So check with him and see, and maybe next Thursday he can come and work with us on that live tabletop exercise of that.
Sure.
Yeah. So see if he wants to join in on that. If you wouldn't
Absolutely.
mind.
I think he would really enjoy it. That'd be great. Yeah, he's a cool guy, of course.
Right on, badass. All right, well, let me let you go, bro, because I know you got to go to sleep. And Danny, do you want to stick around for a few minutes, or do you got to go?
Sure. Okay,
I know you
see
got to
you guys.
get up.
Take care.
Okay, take care, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, because I know you got to get up.
Aloha. Thanks for being here.
I do have to get up early, but it's my motherfucking birthday. So.
I know. So.
All
right.
Whatever.
So, since it's your birthday, let's play. Let me play you a request. What's your birthday request?
Ballroom Blitz.
All right. By who? Because you can do. I think there's Ballroom Blitz by the All Chick Band.
No.
Joan Jett was in the Runaways. I think they did Ballroom Blitz. And you mean Kicks? Was it Kicks that did it? Hang on. A couple people did it though.
With the original one.
Version.
Which one?
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
It's on my playlist, man.
Hang on. Hey, speaking of playlists, what did you see that movie I sent you called Chud?
No.
Oh my
God. I said, what's the game? That movie exceptionally well.
A movie is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, it is a movie. But
I know.
tell her what
Chud stands for. Hold on. Tell her what Chud stands for.
Carnivorous humanoid. I'll start with that. That's CH.
Carnivorous humanoid.
Underwater dwellers.
Oh my God, dude! Did you? No, you weren't there for that movie. I played a movie. It was like fucking zombie shit, and this chick goes diving, and there's a zombie down there, man. Like this shark comes after her.
Man.
These are underground dwellers, though.
You
These
hush
aren't.
your mouth.
I thought it was underwater. It's underground dwellers.
Underground.
Yeah. So
I thought you said underwater.
He did.
I did say that. It's an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yeah,
it's Lovecraft story.
Yeah. No, man. I'm telling you, and it matches up with that other. What's that other thing? The Slee.
1975 or 6, right?
The
Slee
Slee stocks also. Were chuds, man. I'm telling you, man. These chuds.
Land of the Lost. Exactly. 1975 6 again. There you go.
Here.
I have not played Chud, but that other movie
Go ahead. Did you get good reviews when you played that one Futurama? Hold on, I'm gonna get this.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was cracking up. Shit.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna get the Chud trailer real quick.
Evil Speak. I have that shit set. That's my first movie on Friday or on Saturday.
Sweet.
Oh, you're kidding me, man. You know, I'm sorry. I just had to make an outburst there. The sweet version. That's the one everybody wants.
That's what I'm gonna play. But I got that lined up.
Fox on the Run, dude.
I got that lined up.
Well, one day installation because you need your.
I got Sweet lined up. Yeah, your love's like oxygen. I get too much, I get too high.
Fox on the Run, and Fox on the Run. That was my favorite song in 1975.
Really?
Because I was a little twerp at the time, but still.
That's where our paths forked, homeboy.
Right.
That's where I went my separate way. Hold on a second.
AM radio, man.
I know, I remember it.
Beneath the city of New York are living catacombs An endless maze of subterranean tunnels, unfit for anything human. Unauthorized for anything experimental.
Hold it! There's something moving up ahead in the tunnel!
And unlikely to bring anyone down there. So, they're coming up. Chud. Chud, check your basement and your bathroom. Keep off the street and try to hide. But remember, the dark is their place. The night is their time. And tomorrow, the only things living in the city of New York will be Chud. Chud. Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers.
Cannibalistic, human, underground dwellers. Here you go, Danny. Woo woo.
Totally fucking rocking out right now, man.
So hard living with the things you do to me. My dreams are getting so strange. I like to tell you everything I see. Oh, I see a man in the back. As a matter of fact, his eyes are as red as the sun, and the girl in the corner that no one ignores. And she thinks she's the passionate one. Oh yeah, like lightning. Everybody was frightening, and the music was soothing, and they all started grooving. And the man at the back said, everyone attack, and it turned into a ballroom blitz. And the girl in the corner said, boy, I wanna rock you, it'll turn into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz.
There we go. Are you rocking? I can't see you on camera.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get whiplash, dude.
Yeah, I can't see you on camera, so I can't tell if you're,
Totally,
if you're
right?
rocking or not.
I mean,
Oh
how
my
could
god.
you not? It's not because it's a carnivorous human.
Seriously, one of my favorite songs like ever.
Nice. Well, give me another one. It's your birthday, man. We gotta rock it out. You thinking? Did my mics go out? What happened?
She's thinking. I'm trying to guess what she'd say.
Gosh darn.
What would she say for her age? What would it be? What would it be?
Can you hear me?
Let me think.
Now we can.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Thank God. Thank
I'm
God.
just trying to guess what your guess is going to be.
Okay, go ahead.
Long enough pause. I have to think about there's a generation gap kind of thing going, and I say, well, so it'd be in the 80s or early 90s, and it'd be probably, what would it be? It would be Sweet Dreams. I'll go with Sweet Dreams.
Well, I mean, the Manson version, I like it, but, well, you know. No.
It's the only guess I had to grasp at a straw there.
I like the Doors a whole lot. I like
Crystal Ships.
Crystal Ship is good. It's a little
methy.
Yeah. What do you think, Jimmy?
What do I think?
People Are Strange.
Nah, I think I like People Are Strange,
Oh, People Are Strange
I go obscure, man. I go obscure.
Oh.
Hold on.
What about that blue bus, man? What about that blue bus?
I used to ride on that blue bus.
Dude, no, you didn't.
I swear to God.
I never got to go on a bus, but I was totally in a van.
Well, let me just say, in Santa Monica,
down by the river.
In Santa Monica, the buses are blue, and that's why he sang about the blue bus, because he would ride the blue bus from Santa Monica back down to Venice.
Yeah, John Nelson, Roadhouse Blues. That I
No.
do like it a lot.
The answer is no, because I have chosen the first Doors song. I've chosen it.
Okay.
I'll start the ball rolling. You think of your favorite. This is one of my favorites.
Well, I'm the crawling king snake, and I rule my den. I'm the crawling king snake, and I rule my den. You don't mess around with my mate, gonna use her for myself.
Okay, there's mine.
Very high. Keep on crawling till the day I die. Crawling king snake.
There you go, Crawling King Snake.
Backdoor man.
All right.
But not in a pedophilic kind of way, like
No.
some people like to say it is. It's
No.
not. No.
No,
It's
I
not what
mean,
he's talking about.
Yeah, no, it's not what he's talking
Backdoor man. I like that a lot.
Me too. I do. It's and also it's a great song as well.
It is.
The Backdoor.
perp.
The Backdoor
Jimmy
Man.
already played my favorite song. Damn it!
I
Nobody
did.
should guess what it is.
Play your favorite song.
You already did. You played it tonight already.
I did.
You did.
I didn't know what it was. But you see,
Well,
that's how it works for me. I magically do shit, and it just happens
It's
that way.
not somebody. I mean, it's not really a song, but you played it, and then one of the other ones is when nobody ever guess what the song is. Although I mean, the 1975 song was a sweet song, no pun intended, on AM radio. So when I was a little kid, it was, what was it, 1975, or maybe before that, 1974, maybe, Song by Sweet. What would it be? What would it be?
Your love's like oxygen.
No, before that.
I don't know, man. But you sound like I can tell something about you right now.
I don't think that was on my AM Top 40 CD.
No, and I can tell.
Damn it.
I can tell something about you right now, Epic Journeyman. You better be careful, boy. Be careful.
Oh.
Here comes.
Uh-oh.
Here comes your song, Danny.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a slight twist, though. Slight twist.
Oh.
But I know you like a slight twist, don't you?
Sure.
Everybody said they don't like the blues. But you wrong. See, the blues come from way back. And I'm going to tell you something again. The things that's going on today is not the blues. It's just a good beat that people is carrying. But now when you come down to the blues, I'm going to show you how to play the blues. Now you just sit here and watch me.
You're gonna make me cry, Jimmy.
I am a backdoor man. I am a backdoor man. Well, men don't know. Little girls understand. Early morning, when the rooster crows, something's telling me you better get up and go. I am a backdoor man.
Don't you know I like how it works?
I am a backdoor. Well done. Men don't know.
Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah.
You like Howlin' Wolf?
I think, I don't know, he might be in competition with Skip James. Damn. Skip James' Devil Got My Woman is like so good.
I know. It is. I'll play it right now. Because you know we're already banned worldwide because I played that Beatles earlier. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That was Epic's favorite song, the Beatles. Today's your birthday. It is.
No, it's not my favorite song. Actually, my favorite song is 1974 or 5. I'm going to send you right now. Hold on.
Is it a Quiet Riot song? Was he around then?
No.
I played it. I played a show. I played a show with Quiet Riot.
Oh shit.
My friend did too. He was a roadie for them.
Yeah, well, I was playing on stage. I wasn't the roadie.
You bastard.
I'm with the band.
I'm with the band.
They were fun.
Jimmy's in the band.
They were fun though. Man, they were fun dudes.
Yeah, that's what I heard from my friend too. Is that they're great to be.
They stole some booze out of our dressing. They stole some booze out of our dressing room, and we were in there eating. And we weren't the opening act. We were the supporting act. So us and them were in the same eating area with the fucking buffet, and we were all eating there. And Benelli had this bag. He put a pillowcase over his head, and he cut a hole in it. And like all day long, he's walking around with this pillowcase over his head. And so we're all in this thing, and while we're in there eating, they snuck in our dressing room and stole our booze, some of it, and we got in this, and we were in there eating. It was spaghetti and meatballs, and they had these things called sporks. They're like a fork and a spoon.
Well, yeah, they're legendary.
My cousin was fucking drunk, okay, and he's sitting there, and he's got this fucking spork, and he got one of these meatballs, and he went, boing, and he shot it, and it hit fucking Frankie Benelli in the head on his pillowcase. And then this whole fucking food fight ensued in this dressing room where it's fucking spaghetti all over the walls and shit. And then while it was going on, we snuck back in their dressing room and stole our booze back.
And I had to beat him to death with his own shoes.
Jesus Christ, man. That was a long time ago, though. There's a lot of people there, too. Fucking lot of people, man.
So I sent my favorite song when I was a little teeny bopper guy back in the day. A guy can't be a teeny bopper, can he? But back in the days when I was living in the Sandbox, AM radio, that was my favorite song. It was by Sweet. Yeah.
Which one? Fox on the Run?
Yes.
All right, I'll play it for you, but only if Danny requests it because it's her birthday. She's hearing her song first, homeboy. Let me just say it.
That bitch.
Let me just say this, dog.
What's new?
Let me just say this, dog. Anytime Skip James and Sweet are on the same choice line, the algorithm's gonna learn what filter bubble Jimmy's gonna be in, by which he clicks on first. So I'll tell you, I'm in the same.
I already heard Skip James.
That's right, man. No comparison, mundo. No comprende, Holmes. No speaking English. No speaking English, ese.
Be that woman, man. I'd rather be the devil. Be that woman, man.
Yeah.
But he got lucky. Don't tobacco again.
Okay, Epic, listen. I'm gonna play your song, but it's all about Danny right now. Okay? It's all about Danny.
He got lucky. Don't tobacco again.
Dollar back again.
Again.
The bird. After you done this song, though, you know he got her back.
You know, did I ever play that dude, that zippy one string dude? I think you were at the show, but you know what? I'm gonna take you back. This is our song, you know? This is how you and I met right here. You ready?
Alright.
This is our song, Danny. Because this is how you and I met. And this is when I said something to you about yeah, and because this is how we met, because we talked about this, and then subsequently I had to call in.
Oh, yeah.
Drink another swig, make me a viper, you a pig. Fight, another night, oh yeah. Sadly, losing it, you don't get mad bad, you're losing it for sure. Down on your knees, you look better. Down on your knees, you find your way. Down on your knees, you beg forgiveness for all your sins. Flesh and mind, push up, scratch love, naked striking on the floor makes us sick. Had enough, my love forevermore. Down, down, better sit down. Keep your head down when in town. Wish you luck, the only way is down. Down on your knees, you look better. Down on your knees, you find your way. Down on your knees, you beg forgiveness for all your sins. Flesh of mine. Down on your knees, you look better. Down on your knees, you find your way. Down on your knees, you beg forgiveness for all your sins. Oh, flesh of mine. Down on your knees. Down on your knees, you look.
Don't wanna know your name, 'cause you don't look the same, the way you did before. Okay, you think you got a pretty face, but the rest of you is out of place. You looked alright before. Fox on the run, you scream and everybody comes around and take a run.
Damn, dude. That is about as bubblegum as it comes. I'm about to blow.
I like it.
I'm about to blow some bubbles right now. It looks like it's on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack.
But you know what? It was bubblegum because I was 9 years old at
You
the
were
time.
chewing
whatever. It was my
bubblegum then.
introduction. Yeah, no, it is.
Nothing wrong with that.
It stuck with me because it is a social engineering construct that stuck in my mind and worked, right?
It
you
is
know what?
psychic,
I'm sure
psychic
he meant
driving.
Foxy Lady.
Nah, he meant Fox on the Run.
No. I'm telling you right now. Fox Lady, when I was 9 years old, hey, ain't shit. I would never listen to it the second time.
Man, I'm just trying to help.
However, Fox and Run, oh no, that totally got me, man.
My mom took me to see Hendrix up in San Francisco. My mom used to be going around to all these fucking shows. I sat on the stage at Frost Amphitheater with Buddy Miles, Carlos Santana, and a few other people while they were playing. I mean, but it was like that though. There wasn't anybody there. In other words, I was just a little kid. You know, we just jumped up and sat on the stage. And that's how it was. They would just play around. There'd be fucking, you show up, there'd be a show. People would
Man, my stories are so lame compared to yours.
I'm
Rob
like
Zombie.
That's because you're not 90 years old yet.
Yeah, well, fuck. Hey, man, you know what?
Hey, I was totally in the freaking band at Caroline Spine, mind you.
Were you?
And nobody knows
You
who
know,
that
the
is.
Declaration of Independence, man, you should have been there. I'm telling you. The party. I mean, we had afterwards.
Whippersnappers, get off my lawn.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, you know, my life's sort of been Forrest Gumpish in a way. I mean, I've just been in these weird places just for whatever reason, man. You know, I just got lucky. You know, just happened to be there, you know.
That is the story of my fucking life, man.
Or unlucky as it may be. You know, it's a
That too.
It's a curse. It's a blessing. It's a curse. It's a blessing.
It's what you make of it.
That's right. You know, you think it's a curse, but then you find out it was a blessing. Usually finds
when I
out.
was 9 years old, listening to that Fox on the Run song, I picked up a piece of trash on the street. It was in an alleyway on the way home. I used to walk to school at Adams Avenue Elementary School in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And so on one side of me was the library in the house where Dr. Seuss lived, Gizzle, right? And so on the other side of the street, well, in the Ken Library and all that stuff, right? And the Ken bookstore. And so on the other side of the street, basically walking up farther was North Park, almost North Park. The bad side of tracks was Adams Avenue Elementary. And so I'd walk there 2 blocks basically from my house, my apartment. And so I'd go there. And what happened was that I realized I started listening to this music that didn't affect me before the way that I'd never been affected by music that way before. Not Fox on the Run, but just in general. Like how it suddenly moved me. You know, I think it happens to every kid at a certain age, probably around that time, around 9 years old, where it starts moving you. You know, it influences you.
Yeah.
And so it did. And I'm listening to it. I'm starting to listen to it. I listened to it on the AM radio on the way, like maybe walking. There's no ghetto blaster back then, but then the little radio you had, or when you got home, right? To listen to the same song you were listening to, and people were talking about it at school, and that's when I knew that there was something different about it, right? Like, why are we all talking about this song, right? Why are we talking about this song? Because there's no reason for you to talk about that
Because
song.
you brought it up, that's why.
You know what song did that to me, man? 59th Street Bridge from Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, well, that's right though. See what I mean? Like it's so. In other words, there's without the propaganda network, is what I would call it, behind it to influence everybody and make them talk about that song, or without the rotation on the radio to make that show be or that song be in rotation, you wouldn't be talking about that song, right? But now because you've heard it so many times and you've read the reviews of it telling you what you're supposed to think about it, it influences you, right?
Let's call it, the term for it is psychic driving. We talked about it.
But
you mean like Casey Kasem and his weekly top 40?
Exactly.
So at 9 years old, I didn't know that yet, except I did perceive it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I understood that there was something weird about that.
The thing is coming to the realization there never was a top 40. No one was ever calling up for those songs.
Oh, no,
to have them played in heavy rotation.
It was a playlist they made and engineered right.
It's the same as the top 10 trending on YouTube.
Exactly.
It's the ones they put on the list.
Meow.
Was it Rick Dees or Casey Kasem for you?
For me, it was.
Oh, Scooby-Doo, Casey Kasem, right? Oh.
I heard Casey Kasem.
I hated Casey Kasem, but who I did like was the Wolfman.
Oh, Wolfman was cool. Absolutely.
I don't know.
But
who the
I
hell
did
that is.
listen to Casey Kasem though
But he was top 40. He was a top 40 guy.
Are you still
right?
Who was
listening?
that fucker from Saved by the Bell that started doing that shit?
Yeah, but Casey Kasem is the voice of Scooby Doo. I mean,
I almost got in a fight.
He actually is?
I almost got in a
no,
fight.
No joke. That's right.
With,
Like Rut-Row Raggy?
That's exactly Casey Kasem. Absolutely.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to point that out.
Oh, but no, like, I love it. But how would I have known that? Because he had like 3 words.
Well, but if you think about it in the context of it being an engineering program from the start,
Mhm.
why wouldn't it be? Right? I mean, think about it. Why wouldn't it be?
No, man.
Screech.
I remember one of the first days, one of the worst
Screech.
days of my high school life was, I would go home from school and watch Scooby-Doo every freaking day. I would walk home from school and soon Scooby-Doo would come on, Cartoon Network. It was like new and stuff. They had just made Cartoon Network. And it was April Fool's Day. And I got home and they're announcing, the commercials are the same and like what show's coming on next is the same. But every single fucking show they played was Screwy Squirrel. No matter what they said was coming on next, it was the same damn episode of Screwy Squirrel.
What
and
the?
I just wanted to see Scooby-Doo. I just wanted to see Scooby-Doo. Yeah, that wrecked me. I didn't want to watch Scooby-Doo anymore after that.
Old man Jenkins is the social engineer of our generation. I'm telling you right now.
It wasn't for your meddling kids.
And he got away with it too.
I tell you what,
Was
man.
it for those meddling kids?
There ain't no social engineering right here, though.
Melinda was mine till the time that I found her holding Jim and loving him. Then Sue came along, loved me strong, that's what I thought. Me and Sue, but that died too. Don't know that I will, but until I can find me a girl who'll stay and won't play games behind me, I'll be what I am, a solitary man, solitary man. I've had it to hear, being where love's a small word, a part-time thing, a paper ring. I know it's been done, having one girl who loves me. Bad luck, wind been blowing at my back. I was born to bring trouble to wherever I'm at. Got the number 13 tattooed on my neck. When the ink starts to itch, then the black will turn to red.
That's a good song, Jimmy.
I was born in the soul of misery. Never had me a name. They just gave me the number when I was young.
That's my favorite Johnny Cash song.
That song reminds me of my grandpa, so I don't listen to it because he wasn't given a name when he was born. He was just given an initial, the letter M.
Oh,
my
M
favorite
is my symbol, with the lightning bolts between it, like the Jimmy symbol. I made that when I was like a little kid. It's on my notebooks and everything.
Man.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, but you know what? Check this out. Who wrote that song? Who wrote? When I say who wrote that song, not the last one we played, but Solitary Man. Who wrote that?
Oh, Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
Anyway, so look, there's a line in the song where he says, "I pray that you don't look at me."
Pray I don't look back.
That's right. That's my favorite line in the song.
Got a long line of heartache, I carry it well. The list of lives I've broken reach from here to hell. Bad luck, wind been blowing at my back. I pray you don't look at me, I pray I don't look back. I was born in the soul of misery.
Damn.
I know, right?
That's hardcore.
I remember
Just a guy and his guitar, right?
I know.
And his guitar.
Yeah. I remember my grandpa going to the courthouse and getting a name.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
So was
did.
So he had just had a number?
No, he had a letter. The letter M.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's me though. So you just kidding. But I mean.
Yeah, man.
I didn't have that in there. You know what's weird? It's like one of the best man and his guitar performances ever. You know, like it's immemorial. It's like one of the things that people bring up on YouTube to this day. Is by a guy named John Dusseldorf. You know who it is if you haven't figured it out yet. And it's just a guy and his guitar singing this song, and it brought down the house, man. Brought down the house. To this day, it's still like one of the best performances of all time. And it's just one guy, his guitar and his voice. So, who's John Dusseldorf? I know Jimmy does.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's John Denver. It's John Denver.
Yeah.
It's John Denver. Yeah. And the song was, yeah.
I love that song.
I'll tell you what, we'll play John Denver, but while you were doing that, I queued something up that is one man, one guitar. And I used to mix monitors for this dude. And I'm going to tell you right now, this fucking guy had magic. I swear to God. Michael Hedges.
No relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine. Plowmen dig my earth. None of them along the line know what any of it's worth. No reason to get excited. The thief, he kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through all that, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour is getting late. All along the watchtower, princes kept the view.
He's dead, Jim.
Did he write that shit?
No, that's
Okay.
a cover. Yeah, he played a bunch of covers, but he plays a cover of Prince the song Love Bazaar. It's not a Prince song, but Prince wrote it. But he plays it, and he has dreads. He eventually cut his hair, but when I used to work with him, he had dreads, and he had beads like in the end of his dreads. And when he would go like this, he'd be playing like this, and he'd go like this, and his dreads would like come over his shoulder and smack the body of his guitar, like in time with the music he was playing. It was fucking insane, man. I swear to God. He's dead though, but he was a coroner, and he used to play out in front of this dinner theater, just play guitar, play songs people would request, and he'd play, cover songs. And then he had a bunch of his own material. And he showed up at this record company in Palo Alto, and he showed up and sat inside the waiting room, and he said he was going to sit there, and he sat there and played his guitar there and all of his music until they signed his ass. They literally signed him and gave him a record contract, and then he took off, and he started going on tour, and he got pretty big until he died. But it's trippy, you know, a coroner, and he was like one of the most soulful dudes you're ever gonna meet in your life. He's really great. You guys wanted me to play that John Denver. Did you have a specific one in mind that you were talking about, Epic?
Well, I was trying to get the Grammy performance, and it's not on YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm stunned by.
Epic, do you ever watch the Melodica Brothers?
The Melodica Brothers?
Yeah.
I have not.
It's two like young French guys, and they take songs and they
they're
play
mimes.
it.
They're mimes, right? So they're trying to get out of the box.
What they do is they take a song that's well known. Hush. And they play it in a style that is, you know, opposite the spectrum. And so they have done, you know, the Country Road song, but in sort of like a synth dark wave almost.
Oh, cool. You want to put it in here?
Yeah, it's good.
You want to put
it's
it in
Melodica
here?
Brothers.
All right, hang on. So
Country Roads, probably.
Well, the one I linked is from Germany, from Wembley, or not Germany, it's from England's Wembley Stadium, 1979. It's pretty close, I guess, but it's just him and his guitar, right? And so the only reason I linked it is because it's just a guy and his guitar, right?
All right. Well, here's Michael Hedges doing Love Bazaar, and I'll go get your link right there. But I want to get that. I already forgot the name of whatever you said, Danny. I'm brain dead, man.
Whatever you said, Danny, is the name of the song, right?
Hang on a second.
The moon up above shines down upon our skin, whispering words, scream of outrageous sin. We all want the stuff that's found in our wildest dreams. It gets kind of rough in the back of our limousine. If that's what we are, we all want a love bazaar. If that's what we are, we all want a love bazaar.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Denver.
The strawberry mind, a body that's built for two. A kiss on the spine, we do things we never do. Come swallow the pride and the joy of the ivory tower. We'll dance on the roof, make love on a bed of flowers. If that's what we are, we all want a love bazaar. That's what we are, we all want a love bazaar.
Some dude just came up and jumped on the drum kit. He didn't.
Well, the song linked.
He didn't have his. Yeah, I got it. I got it. He didn't have he was just there by himself, man. He's like in this like gauze shirt, like those old school Mexican shirts, those gauze ones. He's got.
You mean like the drug rug?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the song I was trying to find was one from the Grammys. Where,
Did you found it?
No, I didn't. It's not on YouTube, man. So it turned out that he sings it solo, but then a minute or two in, the band comes in, which is not what I wanted, but you can still play the first minute. But
well, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play.
Guitar.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it, but first I'm gonna play the one.
But originally, it was just him and his guitar the whole song.
I think you might like this, Epic. You're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. Either way, I love it. So.
well, now I have to love it now.
Yeah, of course.
Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home.
That is totally absolutely exactly what it is. 100%. Yeah, that's great. That'd be my rendition. 100%.
You fill up my senses like an.
I don't think this is the song epic, but it's Annie's song. But I'll go ahead and.
Well, it's Andy's song. The one that I wanted to play was one from the Grammys. It was just him and the guitar. There's nothing else coming in. This one's him for 40 seconds by himself. But
I like
then
this
they
song
bring in
too,
a
but
company.
I like this song too, but Danny's favorite song is the other one.
Well, no, that's badass. That's exactly the way I would play it too. Like if I was to reconstruct it, that's how I do it. Yeah, pretty damn close.
The breakdown though, dude. Like the breakdown later, like in the beat, it's so good.
Like the mountains in spring.
I used to sing the shit out of this song when I was a kid, just so you know. I mean, any song that was on the radio, I sang.
Well,
it
you're
like
probably at a skateboard when I bet you singing it.
I probably was.
Like a walk in the rain. Like a storm in the desert. Like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come fill me again. Oh, come, let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me drown in your laughter. Let me die in your arms.
Yeah, it started bringing the instrumentation. It loses the potency of him just singing by himself with the guitar, in my opinion. But yeah, I couldn't find the version from the Grammys, which was great because what it does, it just shows the power of one guy and his guitar. I mean, it's all it was. There was nothing else. There was no effects. There was nothing. It was just him singing with a guitar, which is freaking badass, actually. And I think that's what's missing in the world today. I mean, it's the passion that made it work, right? It was a passion that made it work. It was the fact that this is his wife he's singing about, right? So it's like his proposal song in a way, right? So there's love behind it, and that power comes through in the music.
It
right?
does, and you know when he sings about that song Rocky Mountain High, and he tells a story about it, cause that happened to me when I went to Colorado. That what he explains about what he was singing about in that song is just like he came to this realization about Colorado in this moment, whatever he was camping.
Coming home to a place he'd never been before.
Yeah, and they were camping or whatever, and it was everybody's camping in their tents, and there was like a meteor shower going on, and everybody was like, there's a group of people, kind of hippie-ish, having this party up in the mountains somewhere, and it was, it was a good story,
Yeah, old John Dusseldorf there, died in this weird plane crash in California. Crashed his plane into the surf line, mind you. It wasn't even like a major crash. He drowned in a bizarre accident, actually. Not saying anything weird, but I'm not saying anything weird about it. I'm just saying it is kind of weird. That's how it happened.
Well,
he was right there, like walking distance surf line of beachgoers, right? And he still drowned. I mean, it was bizarre, but. He really did die doing something he loved, I guess you could say. So I wouldn't say it's a bad death, so to speak.
Yeah,
way the world.
Sonny Bono, John Denver.
Bono. He's forever immortalized.
Hang on a second.
Bono.
I don't want to trigger you, man, but here, listen. It's 5:00 in the morning, Danny. Are you there?
Yep.
Is it time to go?
Yeah, I'll be probably driving a car in about 4 hours. 4.5.
You will be?
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, I gotta go places.
Oh, nice.
Things do people see money spent.
I'm gonna leave my house.
Scary proposition these days, I know, but you should go for it. You should
Watch
go
out for
it.
all the bikers and people walking in the middle of the street. It's like zombies out there, man. I'm telling you right now.
It is. All right, so here we go. Here's our going away song. Are you ready? Everybody ready?
I guess we gotta be.
Well, you don't have to be. I'm just saying, if you guys are ready to go, I'm definitely ready to go.
Yeah, I'm dying.
Yeah, me too. I gotta work tomorrow too, but still.
All right.
I don't gotta work.
All right. Are you ready to go?
Sure.
Okay.
10.
There you go.
9.
This court is now in session.
8.
Would the defendant please rise? State your name for the court. Never mind. You're being charged with 1 too many counts of heartbreaking in the first degree. I don't give a damn about the others. My main concern is you and me. Your Honor, may I call to the stand my one and only witness? A girl that know damn well she didn't have no damn business. I know what you did, how you did it, and who you did it with. So you might as well think you're tired, 'cause you sure can't plead the fifth. Now raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, not to hurt you like you used to? So help you God. Nod your head one time if you hear me. If you don't, I'll have to use the rod. Anything to make you see that you're gonna miss me. Yeah, you're gonna miss me. If it please the court, I'd like to have the defendant place her hands behind her back so I can tie her up tight and get into the act. The act of showing her how good it used to be. I want it to be so good. She falls back in love with me. Close your eyes. I'm gonna cover your ass with this sheet. And I want you to pump your hips like you used to. And baby, you better stay on the beat. Did you do to your other man the same things that you did to me? Right now I hate you so much I wanna make love until you see.
So, Danny, here is your good night birthday song. You ready? Here it comes.
Yeah, I hope it's better than the last one, Jimmy.
Oh, it will be. I was thinking about a part in that song I wanted to hear. So here we go.
Could you be the most beautiful girl in the world? It's plain to see you're the reason that God made a girl. When the day turns into the last day of all time, I can say I hope you are in these arms of mine. When the night falls before that day, I will cry. I'll cry tears of joy. 'Cause after you, all one can do is die.
That was a good album, man. No one bought it though.
That's a good song, though.
I know. I love that song.
I'm not buying it. No.
I love that song. That song makes me happy.
$5, man. That's my month's
Now,
allowance.
I
back when was a
put.
kid.
Thank you, Spike.
I can't-
For saying it.
I
I
can't-
put my going away song in the chat.
I know. Well, too bad I just clicked it and blew us out of the fucking chat. I can't
It's
click.
Otis Redding.
I can't. Just so which song? Because I can't click on it. Because when I do, it takes me away from the page.
Oh, yeah. You
Where
know,
the
it's
chat
try a
room
little
is-
tenderness. Come on.
Okay.
You need
The
some,
commitment.
what's his name?
The commitment.
I like
Turn
Bill
the
Withers.
page. Turn the page music going on there, right?
The Commitments was a great movie. And I like when that dude sings "Try a Little Tenderness" because nobody thinks he can sing. It's like fat.
You know who does it the best though? In Shrek, man.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that Eddie Murphy?
Is it really?
Dude, that's way better. Let me get you a link. I'll put it in the Skype.
He wants to party all the time.
It's better than Otis Redding.
Oh yes, it actually is.
Well, I remember Eddie Murphy doing "I like to party all the time."
My girl likes to party all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in Shrek, it's probably not, singing the whole thing, but.
What about, did Dobie Gray do this song? Because he was a friend of my family's.
Now that I do not know. I have no idea what he did in 1960s, pretty much, right? That's where it was.
I'm not sure. He's all over the place, man. His song was "I'm In With the In Crowd." That was his big hit.
Oh, I'm within the crowd. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I think it was 60s.
Some Jodeci.
Beach Black and Bingo kind of thing, right? It was. Yeah, if not even that movie, it might have been that movie actually.
Alex over in Italy, but from Romania, is saying play some Jodeci. Wow, dude.
What?
That Jodeci is some 80s shit.
I know what Jodeci is.
Yeah, wow, isn't that that's a request from that niece.
I'm not Jodeci. I just like my women to.
Dude, I'm gonna play Jodeci. I'll play Jodeci tomorrow night on the dance party over on Aftermath.
Nobody's gonna get that joke, of course.
Come and talk to me or freaking you.
Jodeci.
Yeah.
Come and talk to
cry
me.
For you?
Yeah, come and talk to me. That's probably the one.
Wait, what about Stay? Stay is the deep one.
Fuck, man, we might bust into a New Shoes medley.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Stay is my favorite one.
Okay, we'll play Stay then, because it's your birthday. I'll let it carry over. No, wait, was it your birthday at midnight?
At midnight.
Okay,
it's
so
actually
it's your
my birthday for
all day.
lots of more hours, man.
Sweet, so it's your birthday all day then. Your birthday hasn't ended.
Nope, it just started.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, okay, so what do we got? I got Otis Redding. You said you wanted me to play something else. Did you send it to me?
I don't know. I mean, how many freaking songs are good, Jimmy?
I don't know, man. I'm going with this one. Only because I got it up there, and you got to go, I know. And I have to talk to you and give you a private birthday message, too.
Okay.
See, this reminds me of the Commitments.
Them young girls, they do get wearied wearing that same old shaggy dress. Yeah. But when she gets weary,
you don't know how hard it is not to sing half the time on this shit.
Sing it.
No way, man.
I sound like a beached whale when I sing, and I was singing.
No.
I mean, I was singing to my cat behind me, but still.
I'll sing some night on the show. I did it before.
Just anticipating for things that she'll never possess. Yeah.
It's trippy in that movie Commitments where they find that old like hippie dude, the UK dude that knows everything about music. They just find him. It's like this weird old dude with these glasses and drinking, fucking knows everything about jazz and everything. It's fucking great.
You mean like the guru guy in Wayne's World?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. He had to beat him to death with his own shoes. Wasn't he? Who was he talking about beating to death though? I had to beat him to death with his own shoes. I love that.
All right, so wait a minute. I'm absolutely fucking lost and out of my mind, man.
I have no idea.
I did a show. I did Billy's.
You're about to go Three Dog Night on us, but it wasn't Three Dog Night. It was the the blues version.
I did Billy's show, and then I had to get on the phone, and I was on a phone call with 3 guys for fucking like 2 hours, and it was the same as being on a show. Because they're all thinkers and we were talking about some shit. So it's like I've been doing a show for like 9 hours straight, man. And
go to bed.
I'm planning on it at some point. But it's not going to happen anytime soon. Probably maybe 2 more hours and I'll be ready to fall asleep. But I just don't have it. I just don't have
Gotta go to work in 6 hours.
My cognitive liberty has been invaded. So I can't think anymore. I'm beyond that.
Well, no, we need to play that a lot more, actually, for the people here and still lingering with us right now. And thank you for being here. Cognitive liberty is the main thing right now. It really is. It's like the main thing, the main focus everybody should pay attention to.
I know.
And we're not. Maybe we're not doing our part to make people aware of it. I don't think so. I think we're trying. But
dude, we've been doing it for
huge.
3 years. You know, I didn't even realize it, dude. You know, you've been on the show for 2 years. Do you know that?
Almost 3, yeah.
Fucking A, man. That's crazy. Because the other night when I was sitting there and I was talking, we were doing the Leah Zagami show, and I was like, yeah, Rio, man, blah, blah, blah. Rio, I forgot that Leah's been on since you've been on.
Yeah.
I didn't, I hadn't realized it's been that long that you've been on the show for that long, dude. That's a lot of fucking, right. Dude, that is a lot of hours, bro, that we've been on the air just saying together. That's a lot of hours, dude. But we never kept track of how many episodes we've done.
We did a whole season. We would call it a season on TFR before we branched out from there. So, and we've been on these other things since for almost 2 years. Yeah. So yeah.
Maybe someday we'll get those episodes back.
I have some of them saved. I do have them recorded.
That's
but,
good.
Only about 5 of them.
All right. Well, listen, we got to get on this book thing immediately, dude. All right, we got to get off the air too. So let's go.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Tell them what they won, Rod.
What's that?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
Quoting Price is Right. Tell them what they won, Rod.
Well, I'll tell you what you.
Oh,
won.
right. Well, you always take curtain number 2 or door number 2.
No, you don't take door number 2.
Yeah, but then you do because it's a shitty one. And then you always underbid it and hope the other 2 guys lose. And you
door
win.
number 2 is Private O'Malley, the FBI. You're busted.
No, I take door number 1, bitch.
I'll take the cash, man. I'll take the cash.
Boy.
And run.